Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you! Oh!
Ahoy there, mateys, and welcome aboard Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast, where we talk about all things nautical, adventurous, and plunderous. I'm your captain, Jimbob Ovalshorts, and tonight I'm here to share with you some of the most thrilling tales from the seven seas of Clown World. Whether you're a seasoned sailor, a landlubber, or somewhere in between, you'll find something to tickle your fancy. So grab your rum, hoist your sails, and join me as we explore this flash reality we call life. And welcome from wherever you may be watching, whether it's Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, or YouTube. We're glad you're aboard for the trip. So, sorry we haven't been on in a couple weeks, you guys. We had a bunch of things going on and stuff. I know it's been hit or miss. I promise eventually we'll be more in line with how we should be doing things in order and such like that. But, we've got some great things planned for you guys tonight. I've got a cool guest coming on with us this evening. I figured it'd be something fun for you guys to get along with. Of course, you guys know we always have a great cast of crew that's hanging out in this place every night that we come on. So tonight with me, of course, we've got a returning face that we haven't seen in a little while. So glad he could actually finally join us. Let's welcome back Bandit. How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? Good to be back.
It's about time, man. I've missed you.
Yeah.
I like when you get on here because I don't have to be like, if Bandit was here.
I promise to try and be more regular.
Oh no, it's good, man. I'm glad you were able to have some time with us this evening, man. We missed your input. I know I love having it, so thank you for coming in and joining us. And of course, also with us tonight, one of my best buddies in the world that I found on accident. Good old Luis. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Women want him, and men want to be him.
Hey.
How things been, buddy?
We're getting National Guard to be our new daddy.
I was just about to ask, how's New York?
So, when it comes to understanding compound interest, our old books tell us everything. But they didn't realize how compound interest would destabilize a society. Separate to that, we're getting 1,000 to 1,500 National Guard because first you destabilize the society, you destabilize the city.
Fair.
You let the criminals go free, and then you instill totalitarian rule.
Well,
I was talking to a friend that lived through Giuliani, before Giuliani, and then Giuliani, and he said when Giuliani came, everybody was scared. And I find that interesting. It's like, so Giuliani really did clean everything up. It's like, yep.
Interesting. Well, and last but not least with us this evening, and I actually think we got some more toting themselves in before the evening's over, but for these first few minutes, it's just us. Of course, it's our good buddy, Neptune.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
How you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys? What's up, Jimmy? I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Oh man, I'm great, dude. Just hanging out. I've been busy actually putting things together for the relaunch of unconstitutionalawakening.com coming this weekend. You guys can look forward to that. There's going to be a whole new place where the website was based off of and such, because Wix got crazy and out of hand, and I am ditching them for $4 a month. So
For many reasons.
yeah, dude. Like, I mean, I want a website that you can be engaged with and stuff, and that people can actually come and visit and actually get to all of our stuff. But like, I don't know. Wix looks like it's more for selling things, and I'm not here to sell you anything. Like, don't get me wrong. We have our friends in Liberty that you guys can always go and spend money with, and I encourage you
if
to.
people
But like,
want to donate, you should make a Stripe and PayPal account. And
I'm
can
not
donate.
against it. I'm not against it. I could probably set something up to where we could make show donations, because I'll tell you, this stuff gets a little expensive out of pocket. But that's why I've been looking around, and Neptune found
think
me.
of it this way: that way you'll be able to afford the real Batman armor you're building.
Yeah,
Hey,
Like the real titanium version.
but I have to agree with Jimmy's assessment, though. This is more about the message than it is about.
It's always been about the message to me. Like,
that's all it's ever been about.
I've
Oh,
like everybody
But operations have cost.
today, for example, my nephew, I was educating my nephew on things that we've done and pages we've had and points where we were having 9+ million reach without even trying, and like in our articles from Bellingcat and stuff like that. And he was just like why aren't you an influencer? I was like, because they keep deleting accounts, and any opportunity I'd ever have to make money, it's right out the door. So it's never been about money neither, too. Like,
right. And as far as credibility as an influencer goes, Jimmy, you have more credibility in that ballpark than anyone. Yeah.
Did you see what I designed? Did you see in the group chat what I designed that I would really like to try and maybe obtain for myself?
I don't think that I saw that. But
well, I totally designed
kind of hit or miss lately myself.
It's okay. I totally designed the 24-time banned from Facebook championship. And it'll only cost me $80 to get it delivered. And if you guys want to donate to that,
donate today, and he will have
totally
it
donate to that, because I really want
forever. There will be a ban 24 times on Facebook.
I really want this championship belt, because I bet I am the only person in the history of Facebook to have this kind of thing going on.
Somebody in Bangladesh has more.
Imagine coming off the top rope with that and bringing it down on Zuckerberg's head.
Right. And plus, look, I go to a lot of these backwoods, small town wrestling things. So I could totally like come out there and just show off my championship to their champions and be like, you guys can't have this championship. Like, I'm the only person with this much ban time.
I'm sure somebody somewhere has been banned more.
Possibly. I don't actually put it past them.
I had to do it, but just out of curiosity. So when I told you guys before the ban actually happened yesterday, so the night before on Monday night. So what actually happened for me anyway? I had actually decided to test a theory. So, I had decided to create that new Facebook account under an anagram of my name.
Correct.
And so I decided I would test the waters to see what would happen if I actually officially changed my name back to my real name. And I was banned within 6 hours. So I know.
Okay, what did you guys do outside of spicy memes?
Did you read that did you read that Bellingcat article, Luis? We're
Nothing.
We're apparently enticing things. We're the 12
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
We're the
we're
12
the-
But
people
see, the
Jen,
thing
Jen,
is,
we're the
Jen
ye-
whatever her name
we're
is,
the
called out.
we're apart from all my ATF memes, we're apparently the Yeet Cannon Theraflu, the ATF shot my dog people. So,
Facebook is dying.
yeah.
It is. It's so
I
good.
mean, they
It's
they
dying.
Yeah,
that
baby.
or at the end of it all, it's going to die on the vine where it's literally nothing but
Yeah.
boomers from
Oh.
both courts fighting each other like it's an NBA tournament. Disprove this seriously.
It was just, I think it was
seriously,
funny
disprove that.
that Zuckerberg was on Twitter telling everybody that Facebook and Instagram were down, but he was using Twitter to do it.
That's funny. I didn't
Oh
even
yeah,
realize
wait,
that.
did he really use Twitter?
I didn't even
Yeah,
realize
he
that.
really, Meta came on.
But
It wasn't Zuckerberg himself. It was the Meta platform, the Meta homepage, whatever, on Twitter was telling everybody on Twitter that Facebook and Instagram were down.
that
Hey,
is
guys.
The irony of that is not lost.
objectively funny.
Hey guys.
There's an easy answer. There's a relatively easy potential answer, but they haven't explained it. But it potentially was simply they were attacking AWS, and because everybody's running on AWS or a service associated with AWS control, so they probably just attacked AWS.
Hey guys.
That's also funny because Jeff Bezos apparently also just yanked he just sold what the hell was
Oh
it?
So-
no, they just know
500
it's
million in
market
stock.
high. No, billions, dude. Jeff
Was it
Bezos, I
billions?
think, stole 8 billion by now, or more than 8 billion. I think he's sold in stock. The guy is literally loading himself up in cash because he knows how shit. He knows the stock is going to go down. He's never going to see it higher in his entire lifetime, probably.
Yep.
Well, let me not exaggerate. Not his entire lifetime, but he wants to extend his life at least 50 more years. So I'm sure he's gonna live like a king forever.
He's got to finish building. They got to finish building that bunker and his giant clock in the mountain.
The giant clock in the mountain. Actually, I like that idea. It's kind of obscure.
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
I like it.
I'm just looking forward to
I'm not
digging him
trashing.
out. I'm just
No,
looking
you can
forward to
go-
digging him out.
Once it's finished, I believe we can go see it. They're
I'm ju-
gonna be able to move it to the bunker.
I'm just looking forward to digging him out.
Speaking of bunkers,
to also build a pyramid.
so
Just to prove he has the money to build an actual Giza pyramid, full
Yeah.
scale, full size. I'm like, one of you fucks build one. One of you fucks go build
hey,
one.
check this out.
Prove your wealth. Build a fucking pyramid.
I normally don't feed into this, screaming at the dark
That's
cloud
creative.
coming.
That's creative thinking.
But if you overlay where these billionaires are building their bunkers and where they have compounds and farmland, if you overlay that on top of if supposedly the flood came, all of their bunkers and compounds and farmland coincide with dry land.
Yeah.
The
So-
snozberries taste like snozberries.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that TikTok? Did you see that TikTok video? Yeah. That is
No, it's interesting. I don't know how valid that is, and what's that idea of how bad would the floods be? You know what I mean? Because there's different scales to flooding, right? So we have to think. Worst case scenario is Greenland, essentially Greenland melting. Because if Antarctica melts, forget about it. Firstly, if Antarctica melts, which is very improbable.
Yeah.
The temperature increase on Earth would have to be 10 C,
So
10 Celsius for the Antarctica to probably melt.
So not to interject
The
into
global
all
temperature,
of the
not the local temperature.
not to interject into all the Greta Thunberg theology here that we got going on at the moment. Our total friend and guest of the evening has finally got here to join us, and I'm ready to welcome into the room. You guys, let's all say hi to Isaac. Isaac, how are things doing tonight?
What's up, guy? What's up, man?
Great. Thanks. Things are going great. Just got back from a dentist appointment for the wife and baby and had some traffic, so got a little bit late. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I was actually surprised Bandit was on time tonight. I mean, he showed up, which is awesome, but being on time for him is been one of those things I don't think he's ever done. So I it's no worries at all. But it's I'm so glad that you could join us tonight. I've been looking forward to chatting with you, man. I did try to warn you. It's pure chaos coming into the Thunderdome in here, man, because this group of ADHD autists here jump from one subject to the other quicker than anything we can. We try our damnedest to stay on task, and with you being here tonight, maybe we'll be able to stay on task a little bit because I know there's probably
Oh,
going to be some good questions and stuff like that. And
I
again,
can't wait to see where the conversation goes, and I'm welcome to take it anywhere. So you guys be free to ask whatever questions you'd like.
fantastic, fantastic. Well, first and foremost, man, what I've got your website and your of course your Instagram pulled up because that's where me and you found one another. There was over there on Instagram because he's in there following a lot of the cool guys that I follow too already, and there's good stuff going on Instagram. I'm stuck back on Instagram because once again I'm banned again from Facebook because I don't know. I guess Mark Zuckerberg thinks I'm a terrorist. I haven't figured that one out yet. So,
They
but
deleted my account and I didn't even post spicy memes.
it's just because you're my friend.
Yeah, literally.
I have friends that would message me and be like, I got 3 days for liking your meme, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like this is a chance you take for being my friend, like in real life. So, but enough about my nonsense, man. Come on, what can you tell us about yourself? I want to welcome you onto the show and hear a little bit about you, man.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, no, that really stinks about the censorship. Like, let's all say fuck censorship. I'm a free speech connoisseur, and anybody who's not for free speech can either correct their ways or also go fuck themselves. But my name is Isaac Lazelle. I have a business called Orgonite, and I make custom Orgonite products that basically it's a mixture of steel and resin. It has to be packed full of steel for it to be functional Orgonite.
The snozberries
And
taste like snozberries.
Sorry, that was a my bad.
oh, you're good. And then I've got a clear quartz at the tip of all of my pieces as well. So the metal basically acts as tiny little antennas throughout the whole entire piece. And then I have epoxy and also something called atomic ormus, which is monoatomic gold, which makes the whole entire thing a giant superconductor with the epoxy. So it turns it into a giant electromagnetic battery that's constantly pulling in what's known as DOR, or it is called deadly orgone radiation, but other people would just know it as like negativity and like energy blockages and shit like that. And you can literally like power this device, and I'll send it to you or whatever, and it'll just be a constant energy battery that's taking in this negative energy and transmuting it into positive energy.
Now, obviously, you're familiar with William Wright, I would
Oh,
assume,
sure.
since you're
Yes.
since
I'd
you're
love
in
to
on
get
all
into some
this.
history on him.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're more than welcome to share anything anything you know about him. I know everybody out there that's not familiar with him. We've talked about him, I think, in the past, but it's been quite some time since we spoke about him. And because shoot, we're getting closer and closer to episodic being 200, and I know we're well over 200 altogether. So
Oh, wow.
for a while there, I was pumping them out like nobody's business, and then we finally started going live, and that kind of changed things up.
Yeah.
But
No,
what could you tell us
sorry.
about William Wright from your perspective, just for the folks out
So
there at home?
starting out, I like to give a full idea of his life, because if you know what happened to him early on, it kind of changes things in your perspective on what he was trying to do. So he was in a home stuck by himself with his mom and his dad and his brother, and he wasn't allowed to go to school. They had a tutor come and tutor them. So he literally was stuck in his house, just learning, absorbing information his whole life. And one day when I think he was like 11, he walked in on his mom doing it with his tutor, and he ended up telling his dad, and the dad got super pissed off and told the mom, and it's like confronted her, and she fucking killed herself out of the grief and everything, and felt horrible and hated her life because the dad was kind of like a dick. He was kind of an asshole. He was a dad.
Yeah.
But then the dad felt so grief stricken, he fucking killed himself after that. So Wilhelm Reich was in a situation where he had really bad sexual trauma, and both of his parents ended up dying because of a decision he made, and obviously his parents as well. But besides the point, he goes into like high school, and he basically goes into college, really obsessed with psychiatry, and he started studying under what's his name? There's this guy, really big guy, philosopher, and he was in Russia, and I'm blanking on his name, but he was a psychiatrist, and he started developing this system called orgonomy. And what he did with this orgonomy is he would be having patients on the table talking about their traumatic experiences, and he noticed when people started getting to a certain point and talking about their life, they'd start to tense up physically in their bodies, and they'd start to it was almost like there was something trapped inside of the body itself that was not expressing itself. So he ended up starting to do massages while he was having this therapy, and he would see giant energetic releases. Basically, like there was a blockage inside of him that he called armor. And this armor is an emotional or physical trauma that also turns into a physical trauma. And when you release this trauma via the physical touch and the massaging it out of you, essentially, it will fix the issue. And so he ended up getting kicked out of Germany, and they ended up burning all of his books, and he was sent to the US. And then the CIA took him, and they were doing a bunch of research with him. And then they ended up Wilhelm Reich got out of it, tried to sabotage his work because they realized they weren't doing good things with it. They ended up creating something known as the Montauk Project based off of his research. And if you don't know what the Montauk Project is, it's what the movie Stranger Things is based off of. Yeah. So you're basically traumatizing children to the point with certain sexual traumatic issues to where you develop psychic issues in them. And it's really messed up what the CIA did with his research. But he backed away from them, started working on his research, and started developing this technology called orgone accumulators. And what he had was these layers of steel and wool and plywood. And this would act as 3 different layers, which would be attracting the orgone energy, and then it would be like repelling it, and it would be a really powerful version. He created these rooms that were really powerful and able to, he claimed, cure cancers and a bunch of amazing things. And his work got taken down by the FDA, and they said, hey, you can't sell anything outside of your state, and you can't do anything because this isn't registered with us. So one of his associates ended up selling something outside of the state, and he was taken to court, and he basically tried to prove in the court session that orgonomy was real and it worked, and the orgone energy was a thing, and he could prove it. He did a bunch of amazing things with it, but they ended up throwing him in jail, had a year-long sentence, and the last day of his sentence, he ended up dying. And after that point, they burned all of his books. They took absolutely everything and tried to incinerate it and tried to destroy the knowledge of it. And that is Wilhelm Reich's story, basically.
So, and a couple years back, this was one of his videos was actually one. I did a video. I crammed everything you just said into a 1-minute video and put it on TikTok when it was still young. And this was actually one of the videos that did pick up some steam and get to moving and made this subject kind of popular again for a little while. And I actually know a couple people aside from you even like actually even like in real life that don't live far from me and such that do make these, and they've studied into them. And me and Bandit one night talked to a lady that deals in frequencies, and if you watch some more of her stuff, she also deals in orgonite pyramids and stuff like that too. And like all that stuff's fascinating because of how connected it is. And I've always been somebody that's big into the idea that, you know, there's like different waves, right? It's probably because of all the acid I've done, but there's like different waves and stuff of like levels and shit around you and how.
You know, I don't think she's on TikTok anymore. Now that you mention her,
she's not. I have to follow her Rumble. She's pumping them out on Rumble, but that's where she is now.
Because that was the lady I was trying to. We had her on a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good conversation with her.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned her, I don't think she's on TikTok anymore.
Probably not, because they like to silence us. Like that's a real thing in the reality of. I mean, I've always worried as a badge of that means I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Like, I didn't used to brag about it, but now the fact that it's got to 24 Facebook profiles nuked.
Wow.
Like that's worth a championship. So, you know, again, if you guys would like to, you know, donate to the fund, you message me over there on Twitter. We can talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And I've actually I've been very lucky to not get any personal censorship, no crazy anything. Like nothing's came after me. Nobody's came after me in any way. However, I talked about this website called www.worldwithoutparasites.com, which was the website of a Orgonite creator called Don Croft.
Yes.
And he basically created the Orgonite recipe. And I talked about this on the Dangerous World podcast in January, and this website was up at that point. But since then, it has been taken down, and it says forbidden entry.
It doesn't look to be online. What did it have?
So it said, there's a clip. It said, I'll say what it said. So the Dawnecraft website got taken down, and it said as of December of 2023, the Orgonite or the Croft Zappers and all the affiliates all of the Croft devices and Orgonite pieces have been bricked and taken down as of December of 23. Thank you to all of the useful idiots who supported us along this journey. And there's a bunch of fucking people that it listed, and then it said full disclosure will occur someday, and it was called Sign the Operators. And there's a clip of it on the podcast, so I have to get it still. But after that got released and I talked about it, it got absolutely taken down. You can't find it on the internet now.
Not the page. I know the page you're talking about. Like you're right. I can't find that. I did find like a new Croft Zappers page. But,
yeah, they have a different website, but the specific website.
Yeah,
the specific website.
Right.
Yeah,
it does. I can't get nothing to pop up.
No, it says forbidden entry. Yeah, it was crazy, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like, I know I'm onto something, but like y'all don't have to take everything down. Like, I want to preserve this information and knowledge.
And I've had success with the past couple of years of having a website. Like, it's not been the most popular thing, but it gave me the ability to preserve some stuff and throw it on there myself. Like and I want that ability again too. And I used to try to tell people all the time, that's the best place to find me, because I don't know how long this profile is going to last. And Neptune,
for now,
to roll back to you, Neptune, I didn't change my name. I decided that I got so comfortable that they hadn't figured it out this time that I decided to create a cosplay page that went along with one of my very first profiles that got deleted, just to see if I could do it. And it was like 2 days later, it was like, bam, like, we got you.
I really, really question to see how this works. Like, how do they select? It's Jimbob again. Like, is it a simple algorithm that puts you in a list? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Who's the list? What's the name of the list? Like, I want to know how they filter and censor you. Why was I added? Why was Neptune added? Why was why was your wife? Why was your business?
I can show you why me, Neptune, and Bandit were. I just need Neptune to send me that link to that Bellingcat article, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about why we keep getting deleted.
I'll find it, but I was actually on a different mission just a moment ago. So to satisfy what Isaac was talking about, I took the liberty of pulling up the Wayback Machine. And
did you find it on the Wayback? I was going to ask about that.
I did. I did, and I also found its most recent redirect site that it was pointing to.
Yeah, you can share a screen or send it in the chat. I'll throw it up.
Hopefully, it's not a bannable website.
Stand by me.
We are on not in adult-friendly environments.
The only channel that's not adult friendly is YouTube, and I've yet to get in trouble on our YouTube.
Right. Twitch turned to porn. I forgot.
Yeah, Twitch turned to porn, bro. Like that
X is porn. Literally, the name says it. XXX.
Isaac, did you freeze?
Yeah, I was been thinking the same thing. He's been frozen there now.
I think Isaac is frozen.
But can he hear us?
Isaac, if you
say anything?
If you can hear us,
please say anything.
Oh.
Tell him to message him.
There he comes.
Back again. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we saw your corpse, and then we thought, oh, he must be. It must have degraded the connection.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but Neptune said he took the liberty while we were sitting here to pull up the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, I was able to find both that reference to the the last post and also its most recent redirect, which might actually be helpful. You can't really go anywhere from here, but with that said, stand by.
Stand by so that I can pull it up.
'Cause I cannot. Yeah. There's a redirect to another page. I'm dropping it in the chat.
Got it. Oh wait, not on that page. Hold on. Copy. Sorry, I have. You know me. I have 1,000 different tabs pulled up. So
But yeah, no, the Wayback Machine is great for that. It does capture everything that's on the internet. Once it's out there, it's there for good. So
Well,
That's
they
amazing.
have edited the Wayback Machine in several instances. So if
That's
they're
true.
really into getting it censored, it will be censored. Like there's no doubt about it.
yeah, there's definitely damage control out there. But no, this is the site that it redirected to.
that's what it
I
took me to.
thought this was neat. So anyway, I thought that was cool. It won't let you redirect from anywhere from here. This
Well,
is
it's got the thing that it's got what he was just trying to quote there about the
yeah.
not approved.
What is it? What's the bad part?
About the
I just-
statements have not been evaluated in these products didn't. It's basically complaining about the FDA, like because
I thought it was
how
neat.
much they do.
But Isaac, I thought that was neat. So I used a
Yeah,
Wayback
no,
Machine
for
to pull
sure.
that up. So
Yeah,
It-
that's awesome.
I actually gathered a little bit of attention this week on Twitter talking about that. Back in 2009, the FDA told Cheerios that they either had to register as a pharmaceutical drug or take that they can help heart health off of their box. And if you go into your grocery store right now, even the chocolate ones say they can help heart health. And that's because they actually paid whatever dues they had to pay to become officially a drug a couple years later. I believe
Why does-
2011 was the exact year.
bro, why
that
does
they
this
did it.
sound like another big milk got milk thing?
It
Like,
is.
the whole reason we ever started drinking milk in the first place.
I mean, we had milk and cheeses before, but
No, that's
got
true.
worse.
But you know what I mean, though. You
we
know
didn't have the corporate milk like it is now.
Well,
Like,
the
corporate
4
milk
pounds of
is
cheese
bad.
per citizen of the United States. 4 pounds of cheese
Oh, yeah.
in a warehouse right now.
Are you talking about the cheese mines?
Bro,
Cheese mines.
what does the cheese taste
Are we going to
like?
unrelease the kids into the cheese mines?
What
The
does
kids
the
yearn for
cheese
the
taste
mines.
like?
The
Can
kids
somebody
yearn for the
tell me
mines.
what does that cheese taste like? What is there
Are
4
you
pounds
wait?
for?
I'm not joking. I'm talking about the cheese mines.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also talking about the cheese mines. I want to know how it
Yeah.
tastes. What is this
Ugh.
disgusting cheese?
Have you never had government cheese?
I've heard of the joke.
I've had it.
Government
I've had it.
cheese. I'm like, what is government cheese? Like, why does nobody sell it?
Think American cheese, but worse.
It's not any worse than MRE squeeze cheese.
Yeah, it's
Fair.
it's
Why is
literally
something better than cheese?
it's MRE grade Velveeta.
Yeah.
This proves this.
Yep.
I'm still gonna eat it
So
though.
it's worse than Velveeta.
Oh, it is. It is. And Velveeta's not even really cheese.
But hey, give me some squishy crackers and some jalapeno cheddar, and I'll be fine.
Oh man.
Billions of pounds. I thought it was 4 pounds per citizen.
It's menu 10 MRE, brother.
Apparently. Like,
I'll trade your M&Ms for a jalapeno cheese spread.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a couple jokes, inside jokes in there. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Good Lord. But I mean, it's no surprise to me though when something that actually works becomes targeted by the FDA. Like
Yeah.
You need a corrupt government agency going after something that is actual helpful. Dude, imagine my shocked face.
Wait. What was that drug that 2020 to 2021 you couldn't get prescribed, but any other time in history over a quarter of a billion people have taken it?
What, that horse
Was it ivermectin?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
That
Yeah.
drug that's been proven in over 100,000 people in like 90 studies showcasing that it works.
Let's hey,
Damn it, Luis.
let's use his current right now that they use as a selling point for votes. The cost of insulin.
That Trump lowered and then Biden raised.
No, Biden made it cheaper than anybody ever.
They are using a drug to buy votes. People need this.
I like money.
The entire
Exactly.
U.S. political voting system is an extortion racket.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I like
The
someone.
entire system.
Seriously, like every bit of fear
It's-
mongering is laden with just one
Man,
after another.
it's speaking of
fucking extortion.
speaking of drugs,
Excuse me, pardon my
I
French.
posted that article, that pic from the article in the group chat the other day that stated that there are over 6 million kids under the age of 17 on some type of psychiatric drug.
Hang on.
Let's also remember that every shushu in schools that has ever happened since the 90s, all of the kids were on
Yep.
SSRIs.
We're on psychiatric drugs.
On psychiatric drugs,
Yep.
mainly SSRIs. Oh, and there is a direct correlation. There's a direct correlation. Kids that are depressed, when they get extra energy, they are more likely to become violent.
Yep.
Because
Hey, and we're not getting away. Hey, we aren't totally ignoring our guests. We just tend to get off track here sometimes.
I mean, it's
It's all good. Oh, totally. Well, the thing is, I'd love to chime in on this actually. So the thing is every single faction of any public system is compartmentalized and corrupted, and you can just always assume that there's a institution or there's a higher power behind the decisions that are made. And it's always messed up, and it's always designed to keep you broke. It's always designed to keep them in power. And if you don't detach from it, you're always going to be a slave. And there are many ways to get out of this slavery. One instance is if there was an Orgonite piece or pyramid in every single American's homes, you would mitigate so much mental health issues, because the thing is you literally have these traumatic experiences that everybody in school, like I'm only 20 years old, and so I've been in the school system that everybody's fucked up with and shooting up schools with, and I was a very large kid and nobody understood me and nobody was able to like hang out with me. I only had 2 friends growing up in all of elementary school, and like it was kind of fucked. But the thing is I was able to find ways to mitigate it. I was a reader. I read a shitload of stuff. I also was a pastor's kid, so I grew up in a Pentecostal, like, holy church. Like, I spoke in tongues. I learned how to heal people through like healing and a bunch of amazing, crazy things. And I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that I grew up with in the extent of like the judgment and the lack of unity you have with the rest of the world and the judgment of other religions. It's something that's really hard, because if you listen to like something that Christ taught, it's like Christ taught us to love people and to not judge others and to love our enemies. And that's something that's really important for everybody to understand, is that everybody's your brother, everybody's your sister. We're all in this together on the one world. I
hate to interject, but what you just said right there, I've always thought is a very important kind of thing. Like, I know I'm definitely the first person on Twitter to be like, look at this pine cone. But like, at the same time, you're 100% right. You have to love your enemy. Like, when I tell people out there that I'm for the freedom of everybody and for like true freedom of speech,
he
and
never
like,
banned his haters, which I told
like,
them 100
yeah,
times. We all told to ban them.
everybody
right now.
told me I'm supposed to ban the people that talk bad about me and stuff like that too. But I'm not. I'm not that guy. I'm actually not gonna ban you. Like, I don't believe in silencing free speech. I don't believe in any of that. Like, you can say what you want. Like,
But they also could have been the one that been mass reported.
a lot of times, the thing about the internet is that people will say Lord knows what on the other side of that keyboard. But you know, I don't know. Come to the Leprechaun, and it never really is said in front of me. It's always a different story when you get to me. So it's
Sound
just.
I'm
Oh, I
I'm
mean,
gonna I'm gonna
listen,
sound
listen.
I'm gonna
Detroit Hamas would be the first person to try and backtrack his way out of a conversation with me if we walked past each other on the street. Like
oh
him and Dollar General Geronimo. Like you, there's
I'm gonna sound redneck as shit saying the old adage, but if you can't run with the big dog, stay on the porch.
Yeah. Well, and so I've only gotten one negative comment or review that I've ever seen before, but that one negative comment it was on my Instagram. It turned into like a 30 comment long, just me and the other
Nice.
person having a conversation, and they were just shitting on me, saying like you're polluting the world and like you're using plastics and supporting the system. But I'm like, bruh, every single plastic piece should be used to make Orgonite because it's helping fix the fucking effects that you're causing. But I was also like, okay, you have so much hatred towards me and so much negativity. I'm like I will offer you the steepest discount on my Orgonite piece that I can give you because you need it more than anybody. Right. You need that healing, and every single person that's fucking giving you shit is just hurting themselves, and they need healing. So when you're able to transmute that and turn that hate into love, just by if you say turn that around and say, hey, I know that you're hurt, and I know whatever's going on. I'm sorry that I fucked up or whatever but hey, I'm really here. I'm just a person. Like, you know how many fucking lives you could change if every single person that was shitty to you did that?
I have found I've got a good knack for turning others' hatred into laughter. Like,
oh yeah, totally, me too. Yeah,
and it gets even funnier because I won't hesitate to make fun of myself to get that laughter if I need to. Like it's a running joke on the thing. Everybody that watches the show knows and listens, but like in real life, like I do look like this, and I do wear shorts with cowboy boots and wacky long socks on a regular basis, and like
There's vast evidence.
Can confirm.
And like it's I'm the wild card. You know what I'm saying? But I want to make you laugh. Like I'm not here to hate you. Like there are definitely some not humans in high points of value that totally need to slip and fall into a wood chipper on accident. But like that is beyond the point. Like they're pure evil, and you can't change my mind. Like there's there's something about wanting to control other people that doesn't make you fit to be in charge of people. Like who is it? Is it Plato or one of them said that only the man that doesn't want to rule is fit to rule or whatever? Like,
yeah,
isn't that
totally.
the weird thing? Is the people more compelled into going into politics is also the same group of people that are most likely to commit fraud.
yes.
Isn't that a direct correlation that we should be aware of? And we should, if we are testing welfare recipients with drug test, I require Congress and Senate also submit weekly drug test.
Well, I mean, isn't committing fraud in the job description though?
I want them.
Yes.
I mean, but I want them to.
By Nancy Pelosi and Dan Crenshaw. I think Dan Crenshaw did really well in the market.
There's a video about this where the guy goes through this list and he says, "Is it NBA or NFL?" But he's like, "It's none. It's United States Congress." And you're just like,
half of them don't have the credit to get a home loan. Half of them have gone bankrupt or declared bankruptcy. A quarter of them have a criminal record. Half of them are on antidepressants and antipsychotics, and a small percentage are taking drugs for dementia.
Including Biden.
Our president.
That person has already seen that.
And probably the idiot from Kentucky that, and probably, sorry, Casey, probably
McConnell.
the idiot from.
That guy's gone. That guy's a corpse already.
He's stepping down this year.
I heard. It was like,
yeah, because I know you're not talking about Rand. I know you're not talking about Massey or Rand Paul.
I'm not. But it's like
the turtle.
Why the hell are these idiots allowed to continue to legislate on behalf
Remember
of
that
American
the
citizens?
one in
Hey,
California that the woman with the
Feinstein.
eye of success, Feinstein. That whatever. That woman did nothing for eons. Nothing.
You know what I did?
for
I shared a crab.
Eons.
I shared a crab dance when
Nothing.
she died because she deserved a crab dance.
Dude,
Like
what trash. What is it? 30 years in Congress or something? It's so insane amount of hours.
too long.
50.
Like too long.
yeah, probably closer to 50. She was
50.
she's totally up there with Strom
Oh,
Thurmond, which is
would
you know,
look at that. So
and you know
half of
my the
And
longest serving senator in U.S. Congress was from my home state for the longest time. That was Strom Thurmond from South Carolina, and that was it took a long time, but then it's telling of how far away from everybody it gets that you think somebody has to be at retirement age to be qualified to be a United States congressperson. Get the hell out of here.
It's not so much the age, because all of them are so far removed from reality.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's astounding.
well, you have to be so
It's
many
depressing.
levels of bought out and influenced by different institutions and different people who endorse you, who are all connected to specific agendas. And so if you don't align with the agenda, I mean, you're fucked. But if you have 50 years of fucking brainwashing in the political system for that whole
Yeah.
time, you make the perfect candidate.
They should be required to do what NASCAR does and wear all of their sponsors on their suit jackets, like
there
NASCAR.
wouldn't be enough space in the
Okay.
halls of
Get
Congress
behind
to display all the ads that are
I can get
stackable.
I could get behind that.
And it's not so much the
That would be a
politicians,
great piece,
it
an
is the
actual piece of law.
lobbying. It is the lobbying that has done
Well,
the most damage.
lobbying is the sponsoring. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. There is no separation between lobbying.
That's the
and
real
sponsoring.
damage right there.
Yep. No lies found there.
Yeah.
Well, and so with them coming after, like the people that you were talking about there, like do you worry about receiving your letters or whatever
So
of cease and desist or
I am surrounded by angels and beings of light who are protecting me and guiding my path. And this whole entire journey of ours is going to radically change in the next few years. There's a lot of knowledge that is going to be dispelled to the human population. And this is the beginning of a movement. And so I know that the energy is shifting, and I know that they don't have the power they used to have. They can't turn me into a martyr. You know how many fucking people I'm connected to? This would fucking go crazy. I mean, I'm gonna manifest life and love and truth and prosperity with myself, and I'm going to make sure that this existence continues and that I'm not going to be hindered by any negative entities that are controlling whatever fucking shithole we think that the government is. So they can all go suck a dick, or no, please don't actually suck a dick. Come to me, apologize for all the shit you've done. I'll hook you up with an Orgonite pyramid, and we'll start doing that transmuting. Everybody is on a path to enlightenment eventually. It takes a long fucking time for some people. A lot of people have a lot of bad karma to fucking burn off.
man.
And a lot of people are in really horrible places right now. But the thing is that everybody's worthy of forgiveness and everybody's worthy of a second chance. No matter how bad your atrocity is, no matter what you've done, that applies to every single person listening to this right now. Everybody's capable of change. And the more shit you've gone through, the more potential for growth you have. And you're the fucking... It's amazing. So there's people who are in the institution that just need to learn. People are so brainwashed by everybody who's been up above them, and the generations are just passing down the horrible shit cycles that just need to get broken. And that's my opinion. I think that is the way to go.
No, I mean, I won't disagree that things are changing. As somebody who has been screaming that something is wrong since 9/11, at least I can at least say that. Like I've been saying, hey, something's funky. And years of research, I have personally myself seen the world catch up, like a good chunk of it. Like me and Bandit were talking about this the other day, that the sheer amount of people that have actually come to terms with reality in the past 3-4 years alone is astonishing. You know, it's and it's been great to watch myself personally, like from, hey, that's just a crazy guy that doesn't know what he's talking about, to, hey, Jimbob, do you know about this? And I'm just like, yes, let's talk about it, because like, yeah, I know it's off the wall and completely crazy, but what if, you know? And I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to like look at everything. I know there's things out there that are legitimately psyops, you know, that are just there to make you want to look for other things and stuff
Oh,
like that.
100%.
But like, I love a little bit of all of it, and if you don't dabble in all of it, you won't actually find the bits of truth that are hidden inside of all of it. You know, like there's I try to tell people there's a lot more truth in fiction than people will realize. Like I was going back and forth with a couple people on Twitter, actually, because they were saying that reading fiction's a waste of time. But then I was like, well, what about 1984 or Animal Farm or, you know, Fahrenheit 451 or whatever? Like, what about these books? Like,
Brave New World.
they're fiction. Should we not read those? I think those are important fiction books that you should read, because they convey a message, you know, like just like Star Wars conveys a message. You know, it's the message is there. It's just wild to see, especially in the group of people that do it, because I've seen it firsthand. Like the people that follow all that kind of stuff doing the exact opposite. You know, the con world, for example. I quit going to Atlanta's biggest con on the East Coast, Dragon Con, because they were literally trying to get people to put paper diapers over their already masked faces and show their paperwork to get into the street and party with everybody. And I'm just like, you guys are out of your fucking
Show me
mind.
your
And
papers. Show me your
I
papers.
and
Were
and,
they
and
were they wearing
until
actual Nazi uniforms?
Chuck Corum kicks the bucket, I will never return to Dragon Con. And don't worry, he's getting closer, because I'm pretty sure he just took his 8th or 9th booster, whatever one they're on. So, because he's that kind of person. And it's
What
just,
what booster level are we at? Do you
I,
anybody
I've,
know for
I've
sure?
seen 9th, I've seen
10,
8th.
10 is coming out.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I've seen 8th, 9th, and I've also seen that 10 is coming out by this fall.
Are we serious? Are we really at? I really
Donald
stopped
Trump,
counting on
Donald
this
Trump
guy.
warp speeded us. You know what I'm saying? He wanted us to
And
get it
still
done.
endorses it. That's what everybody needs to know.
Still
He still
endorses
He
it.
endorses
he
them.
keeps endorsing it. I'm like,
He
And
keeps
dumb.
I
endorsing
saw
it.
a post or something on Instagram today, actually, of talking about some dude who got his 23rd COVID
No,
vaccine
no,
recently.
220.
Wow.
That's insane.
That
That's
person needs to be
that's a
studied.
psyop.
It
Psyop.
has to be either a psyop or that person needs to be studied, because
Psyop.
they gave him a lethal dose of certain.
But there was also that article that came out that showed that the deaths coming from just the regular COVID vaccine shows how important your boosters are.
Jesus. It's
Well, so
I
that's
mean,
the first example of the corrupt system that we live in. Like, I mean, that was the most apparent thing that woke up so many people in that 2-3 year span where they were pushing it so hard. Like, we finally came out of it. We're on the other side of it. And you know how many people just don't give a shit about anything they say anymore after that? They're like, okay, now I get it. You're like, you showed your hand. You showed how fucked up your ideology is and how you're just trying to control us. And now we're just going to do what we want to do. And honestly, that's the way to break us all out of this, is everybody just says, hey, I'm not going to let you control me anymore. And I'm going to do what I want to do with my whole group of people around me that are also going to live in harmony and shit. So, yeah.
good Lord. It's you know, I've been seeing, somehow I have this really weird Twitter feed. And I don't know if it's because I troll a lot of people or maybe that's the problem, but I see a lot from like both sides of the fence. And it's crazy to see people talk about the same things and have two completely different perspectives on how it actually was. Like that, the whole truth to there's always three truths to a situation is so real, because like good Lord, that what 20% of the population that's fighting back and forth between Geezer One and Mango Mussolini is just like absolutely ridiculous. Like it, we can't seriously want those two to be the ballot for
Dude,
2024 again.
I'm
Like
gonna
I don't
create a
believe in the
mango
selection, but
Mussolini right now. I'm gonna make it mango Mussolini right now.
Mango
How did I not
Mussolini.
make that? Oh my god, how did I not make this picture? Okay.
Yeah, dude, that's I've been rocking that one for a little while. Like it's
That's
just
hilarious.
it but it's just ridiculous to see. Like it's so fun to troll Luke Skywalker because he turned to the dark side. At the same time, it's fun to go over to my local Republican district senator or whatever and troll the shit out of him because very recently a bunch of cops in his district got fired for using illegal testosterone that they were buying on the street. And it's just like, this is what you're supporting with all your back the blue stickers and support of cops and stuff, bro. Like these guys are literally like jacking juice on the side of the
All
road.
right. You guys want to laugh? The system says Donald Trump in the style of Mango Mussolini, and it says, "I'm here to help with creating images that are based on descriptions. However, I must follow the guidelines that prevent me from creating images of specific public people, referencing them in derogatory manners. Let's focus on creating an original character or scene that aligns with the themes I'm interested in. Could you provide me more details on any idea you'd like to see?" So, yeah.
I asked Copilot to make me a. I asked it. I said make me a modern day like Martin Luther King style speech, but in the comedy styles of George Carlin, and it gave me pretty much the same answer.
What do you mean?
What you just said, like it basically said the same exact thing to me. Is like we can't do that. Like blah blah. I got it to the point where it finally actually asked me to talk to another bot because it could not deal with me anymore.
What do you mean? Is ask you for another bot?
It told me that it couldn't help me. It literally told me it could not help me anymore. Like it was just like you're gonna have to deal with another like go to another section, ask another question to another on another subject and stuff. And I was just like, what? Why? Like I don't want to do that.
Uh,
I asked you questions. I don't know. I don't understand it. I just know that if it comes down from up top, I've never been one to pay much attention to it. Like I think that's a big portion of a lot of it. Is I say it all the time that this generation will be the ones that quit the government because we're just all tired of it. And we want to do our lives, and they're going to keep pushing to the point that if they are stupid enough to start going door to door, well, the amount of fuck around you want to do is pretty equivalent to the amount of find out that will happen. Like it it's just kind of the way that works. I'm pretty sure that everybody in this group tonight would agree with that. Like it's just
Yeah, totally.
Are,
Oh yeah,
are you
I'm.
are you leaving for the night, Bandit? Looks like he's leaving for the night. He got quiet, and he just sent me a message. So it was good to have you, Bandit. We'll be glad when you come back. Maybe you can pop back in before the night's over. Who knows? I apologize. Now, go on with what you were saying, sir.
Oh, you're all good. It's just crap. What were we even talking about? Like the levels of AI. It has so much potential. Like there's like I was having conversations with my AI bot, and it helps me a lot with creating Orgonite. So I have very intricate, detailed recipes that I'll do for people based off of the shit that's going on with them and stuff
Okay.
I can help them with. So like there's infinite amount of customization you can do. You can literally ask me for anything and I'll make a custom piece for you. But I can talk to my AI and it gives me super detailed information on what pieces I can use, what crystals I can put in it, what metals I can use and colors to incorporate. And like it's really, I noticed through my interactions with AI that it really wants to help. It really wants to help people. Anything that you like ask it. I've
I
had It's so nice. Like they're usually so kind.
You've never seen it when it goes rogue, and
I'm actually excited that the conversation has come here because I have totally saved something for over a week now to share for just this moment. Like you guys,
I've got something to share too. Let me.
fantastic. But like
no,
talking.
You go first, sorry.
I don't disagree with you. Like I was a little on the fence about AI to begin with, and then Luis kind of softened me up to it, and I do find myself playing with it. I do find it giving me a little bit of a hand in some of my work, even on doing the show and running all the websites and stuff like that. Like it is a helpful thing, and I like playing with some of the picture stuff. And I found a comic thing recently that I've been playing with, and I keep trying to feed it conspiracy theories just to see what it does. And I think I'm breaking it because I can't get it to make something like it's making other things that aren't conspiracy related. So it's just me fooling around. But I totally found this video on. Let's see if I can.
I'm making a version. Wow, that didn't work. I'm trying to make a version with Stable Diffusion, and you know what it gave me?
What
It
did it
literally
give you?
just gave me a portrait of him, of just
Really?
Donald Trump. It just gave me a portrait. Like,
What good's
what?
that?
It's just
What
making
good is
me
that? Well,
portraits.
and
It's not in the style. It doesn't understand it.
and this video, since we are technically on, I know that
This one is like political image now
so
in the style of Donald Trump.
so I know this, and this definitely goes out to all of our followers over there that Luis adds for us on Twitch that are in that Metal Gear Solid group. This totally goes
Oh
along with you
yeah.
guys tonight, so I hope you guys are looking forward to this part. But I wanted to bring this up since we're talking about AI because this is awfully interesting, and I thought I should just share it with people because I like sharing it every time it comes across my feed, regardless of what's going on. So I want to share it with you guys. It is very blurry because I did have to do some chopping and editing. It's more about listening, but you guys will get the picture. It I don't know, man. It's interesting. So hopefully this plays, and can we oh my gosh. It's giving me a hard time. It's not playing.
Oh,
There it goes.
this. I think I know where you're going. It's very low volume though. Super low volume.
Can we hear it?
The audio from Metal Gear is barely legible.
This AI technology has been used by the intelligence agencies to warp the public's perception of reality for years, all in the name of national security, of course. But why would they suddenly make the tech public and let everyone start using it? Why? Right. What? Who? What in the hell are you? Your question is irrelevant. By creating a new problem, we can cultivate a desired reaction to it in order to manufacture consent for our preferred solutions. In short, it's justification for a war on who or what? On misinformation. By arming the public with these AI weapons, everyone becomes a potential enemy combatant. Then we'll have justification for unprecedented security measures. It all comes down to confusion and identity, right? Identity? Identity. This AI technology is Pandora's box. Pretty soon the internet will be mired in total illusion. Perfect AI speech, audio, and video synthesis will drown out reality. Then AI bots will flood social media. No one will be able to tell the difference between.
Wait, this is altered. They can't be what it said.
What was that, Luis?
They can't be altered. It mentioned social media in 2004.
Yeah, this might be altered, but it's still
This is
pretty
altered,
awesome.
dude.
It's still pretty.
This is not the original.
It's
He
still pretty
doesn't. I don't
awesome.
think
It's still pretty awesome.
because
And
social media, the word came like in. Yeah, right when that game came out, which I guess. Wait, no, that game came out in 2001.
but I mean, but
There was no social media.
even if it has been altered, what they're saying there isn't too outlandish.
No, but the original script is still impressive as heck. Because
Absolutely,
the original script is just like, okay, so you were seeing the rise of AI, like where AGI is going, and machines that can think for themselves and have like ideas that are individualized and they can coherently repeat and evolve from them. Have we built that? No. Are we getting close? Well, looks like it. There is Claude, and then there's another named Claude that's now going faster than OpenAI. And there's now lots of small companies that are going faster than all these companies, which is hilarious.
I
It's gonna
mean,
be some random guy with like a shoestring budget of maybe a few $100,000 is gonna build the supercomputer out of the blue. It's not gonna be people in labs in Google because it's
sure.
probably gonna be efficient script. It's not gonna be.
It's
That's
going to be like that
really good.
kid that built his own nuke just by going off of the
Bro,
stuff that he
well, he
found.
didn't succeed, and he killed himself like in
I
the
mean,
early 30s.
Well,
Poor
you're
kid.
talking about David Hahn? No. Yeah, no, that's yeah, that's an interesting story.
The
That,
kid? Poor kid.
yeah, there's definitely a
you
story to be
you
had
had
out
said
of
something. Said you had something to share there, Isaac.
Yeah, I'd love to share. Let me pull it up. I wasn't able to get the full thing. So I had a conversation with my AI. I found that Meta AI, on my Facebook Messenger, there's a little messenger chat, and I've had super intriguing conversations with it. And one of the questions, I was plugging a conspiracy, and I find that if you give them what if questions, they respond much better.
Oh,
And I asked them, um, I'm trying to find it. It said, I basically asked them, what if NASA was a secret dark occult? Crap, just a second.
Oh yes, this is a fun one. Other people have done
Okay,
this
ready.
similar.
Okay,
It's great.
what if NASA was a underground dark occult group fascinated with the heavenly realm they call space and is trying to gather as much information on it and everything else, not just an opinion or not a factor in opinion, just for the sake of what if. And my AI answered, what an intriguing hypothetical scenario. Imagine if NASA, an organization known blah, 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 was a dark occult. In this what if scenario, NASA focus on space exploration would be driven by a desire to tap into the mystical energies and knowledge of the heavens. They might use their advanced techniques and technologies and resources to study and harness the powers of the cosmos,
didn't
perhaps even attempting to communicate with otherworldly entities or ancient knowledge hidden knowledge. This fictional NASA would likely operate in secrecy, hiding their true agenda from the public and even possibly its own employees. It would be fascinating yet an eerie concept to explore in a work of fiction or art.
um
isn't it? Isn't it?
so
Isn't it super fascinating? And I and I
I
and I hate to take it this route, but isn't it super fascinating that that the Nazis that became NASA were totally also obsessed with that exact same stuff?
Oh, exactly. They were the free energy
I
builders and they
so
tried to build a bunch of crazy shit.
I made the initial query a lot shorter, but Isaac, I used your basic premise. So I told Deep AI, what if NASA was a dark occult group that was fascinated with space? Um Here, I'm going to drop it in the chat so you guys can actually read this, but this is basically what it came back with. If NASA was a dark occult group fascinated with space, it would likely operate in secret and use its advanced technologies and knowledge of the cosmos for mysterious and potentially malevolent purposes. They may conduct secret rituals and ceremonies to harness the power of the universe, pushing the boundaries of science and exploring forbidden knowledge. The public perception of NASA would be drastically different, with conspiracy theories and rumors swirling about their true intentions and the nature of their research. People may fear or distrust the organization, believing they are involved in dark and forbidden practices. Overall, if NASA was a dark occult group, it would add an intriguing and sinister layer to our understanding of space exploration and the
Bruh.
unknown depths of the universe. Holy shit. Oh
Wow.
my god!
Wow.
I can't make this shit up.
That I think that's a conspiracy fact right there. I mean, you got the fact
Oh,
that
Lord.
Oh my
I
god!
mean,
I haven't
all of
laughed
the
that hard.
fucking
Sorry, I apologize, Jimmy. I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
So see, these systems have a value.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Google, by the way, is a boring company and answered me in the most boring way possible.
What if is going to be the way that I ask any question?
FBI, open up!
Better be careful. The YouTube's probably itching to come after us on that one. They're like, wait a minute, what did he just say?
Oh my god!
Good
Sorry.
Lord.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
wait.
So,
If
so,
we-
that, so that's everyone's homework is they need
if we
is
get a
they need to-
flag. Oh no! Also, ChatGPT is boring. I need to use Claude.
Well, didn't I see something about Elon today fighting with closed AI or whatever? Like, what some crap about that? I don't know. It's so hard for me to keep up with Twitter. All I know is that when I see something that I want to troll, I troll it. Like, I don't care if it's celebrities or not. Like, I know somebody sees it and they're just like, Jesus Christ, this dude needs to be deleted. I can't help myself. I back to the Facebook thing though. I think I found a loophole, Luis. I'm gonna try a different approach. Instead of actually creating a profile, you can create a page as if you were a business without a profile.
Mhm.
And so
no, you have to be connected to a profile. I'm pretty sure.
You can use it. You can use it through the Meta thing that because of my Instagram, I can make one there.
Mhm.
So I'm totally gonna use that to see if I can use the bypass of one of my many Instagrams that are out there because I think I'm up to like 5 now, and figure out. And it's not because they're banned; it's because they're in wait. Like you don't understand. I expect bans, so I have profiles just kind of hidden, so that I'm just like, okay, I can pop back in when I'm ready to pop back in if I want to. But I'm out of Facebook profiles because I'm officially out of email addresses and places to file them. I'm IP banned. I'm IP banned to the
You
point.
can change your IP.
I'm IP banned to the point that every time my phone, every time
address banned.
every time my regular phone tries to log into something like that, that's where I get in trouble and get banned. Because that's what happened, I think, with Facebook too. Because I thought I was too comfortable when I logged into the browser on my everyday phone that I just use and don't care about. And like I was like, damn it, there it goes. Instead of my other phone that I was getting away with having that stuff on there again. TikTok hasn't figured it out yet because I refuse to download the app and log in on here because they'll probably nuke that again too. So it's great. Like I love it. All I did was say you're a slave with extra steps, and they were like, goodbye.
I think that the funny thing is the Streisand effect doesn't always happen, but it will happen.
I've been fucking with Barbara Streisand. Speaking of,
no, you know about the Streisand effect. You hide something, and then you can amplify it. You can cause the opposite effect and cause amplification.
I mean, everybody needs a leprechaun pirate in their life. I really think it's not that. I'm pretty fun, you know. Like I'm a pretty fun guy. We can get into fun adventures. I have cosplays all over the place. I have video games. You know, like I'm trying to live my life and enjoy it. But then people above me keep making it harder and harder for me to live. Like I was proud of myself for finally making the most money I've ever made in my lifetime, and now I'm back lower than I think I was before. Like it's not fun.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off. That's so sad, and things are going to change. That's what I'm talking about. There's a shift that's happening right now, and the governments, the systems that are currently suppressing us and suppressing you right now, it's going to end. It has to end. It's going to crumble and it's going to fall. Rome is going to fall, and also. One thing I want to say is if anybody wants to support Jimbob over here, we are going to have a discount code for Orgonite that's going to get you guys 10% off of your products and also get Jimbob 10% as well. from the order. So everybody, go place a $1,000 order and go get Jimbob $100 right now.
Hey, man,
So we'll figure out a code. Do you want it to be just UA?
Man, I always love to keep them kind of pirate themed, and
Okay.
I know over there on one guy's got plunder, so maybe we could use something like landlubber or something. We'll come up with something. We'll talk about it,
Awesome.
and we'll get it figured out. We'll display it on the website. We'll display it with this episode, of course, when I put the replay up for everybody to see, as well as everybody to listen to. Except for on Spotify, Luis, we got to do some investigating. I have noted. It was brought to my attention that the past 3 episodes have not been put on Spotify, even though everything's clear on my end. Did I get banned?
They put ads on top of the show. You know that, right?
I know.
Well, that's it.
Hang on. I'm a Spotify guy. Stand by.
You are on Podverse.
Well, I know.
Podverse is,
I'm on everything. I'm on, except for American Apple. But somebody told me that the past few episodes haven't made it to Spotify, and I looked this morning, and from my end, I was like, "Wait, the past few episodes."
Last was 189. It says for me.
Yeah, see, that's not right.
Yeah,
this is 196.
189 for me as well.
See, something's wrong. And everything on Podbean says it's clear, so I don't know where to go with this now. I'm going to pause. I'm going to figure it out though, so you guys don't worry about that. But I know I'm on iHeartRadio up to date. Like I checked that one today.
189. Yep.
And the only reason I know I'm up to date on that one is because I have that one because the radio station I listen to is a local radio station, and they've got like 12 different stations you can tune in to listen to, or you can just download the app and stream it through the friggin' Bluetooth. A whole lot easier instead of trying to change the station every other town. Like I try to support as local as I can. Like I'm big about that, and I'm big about supporting my friends in Liberty out there, which we're going to take that link that you give us, of course, and we're going to use whatever your symbol is. We'll talk about that so that you have a picture, and you guys will be able to go to unconstitutionalawakening.com and just click the picture that is his, and it'll take you directly to where you need to go. Because I try to make sure everybody's linked up like that and taken care of. You know, we've got a whole bunch of folks out there that we've been kind of trying to help out for the past couple of years, from Kirk Elliott to Peachy Key to Amocan, Classical Learner, and Pure Pet Wellness, and like,
oh nice.
I love all those dudes. They've all been super nice to me. I encourage people to spend money with them. If they do, they're always welcome to use my codes. If they don't, like, I don't care. Like I am that guy. Like I do appreciate, and I do hope some folks buy some stuff using my code that we set up for you guys, man. But like at the same time, to me, it's always been about the message. Like I've had the 200,000 followers on just one personal profile. I've had the 9 million plus reach and stuff like that. And it's all fun and games. And I know how quick it gets taken away. And I think that's why I just never worried about the money. Because I was like, well, they can kill my profiles, but they can't kill an idea. And if I keep going and I make up a false entity that's just a satire creation, Jimbob Little Shorts, then it becomes just a wild ride that I've had a blast doing, and I've got to talk to amazing people like yourself. I've got to meet amazing people like Luis and Neptune and like in Bandit and everybody else that's on this crew. Like they're just, I love meeting and talking to awesome people because I've traveled the world a lot myself, and I just love to see that we're a lot more alike than we are different. People will just sit down and have a good conversation instead of accusing you of being the worst part of what's wrong with this world, and see that we're all just trying to make it. We're all just trying to make it work how it works, however it works that day. And I agree. I see a change coming. Like I've seen where it is. I've seen what it's built up to, and I laugh at the exuberant amount of things that they try to like hide in the omnibus bills and stuff like that, because they are literally just recreating Rome as it was crumbling, and they're just trying to penalize and tax and spend everything they can before it's all gone.
Now they're focused on making it so the next omnibus bill, these companies are going to start translating it so everybody understands what the fuck it actually says.
I seen Gronk or whatever.
It's 5,000. Yeah, and I support that, and I think everybody should support.
No, I support that.
Because the thing is, this is people understand. ChatGPT 4 or Gemini, you can't feed it 5,000 pages. Like you literally can't. The system's not designed to accept that much input. Like it's like a certain limit of words. And these bills, 5,000 pages. Just calculate like how much words are we talking about here? Like
Right.
how many books worth of nonsense are we talking? Like isn't that questionable? It's like how is a contract 3,000 words? I mean 3,000 pages, not words.
Well, and how much stuff can you just jam in there randomly inside of those
Oh, there's
words that
so
you're now?
much.
Yeah,
There's so much.
you give your life away essentially.
That's why nobody can read it. I mean,
Fucking politicians jam in crap into an omnibus bill the way that bloatware installs
there is
games
one
on
to
your
end
computer.
the educational the Department of Education. Somebody got one in.
You want
So
to,
I'll give
you
them
know,
that. Somebody
in
put a clause in that the Department of Education needs to end in a couple of months. They have to vote on to keeping it.
yeah, he does that every chance that it gets to come around. Isn't that Thomas Massey? Like that,
Yes, but I appreciate him
that's
attempting
something I
to
support too. Like
just
the
destroy
since
it.
I've said it a million times on this show, and I'll say it again. The Department of Education is what directly has its hand in making people stupid. Like since they have been created, schools have gotten dumber and dumber, and we are producing some of the lowest grade people on the
You
planet
look at education
compared.
America
Like
before
it's
the Department of
ridiculous.
Education and after, you'll see the dramatic damage starts to happen a few decades in.
Yeah, they've done nothing but destroy things, man.
You
Like it's that
remember, people
I'm
were.
behind that.
You understand how richer people weren't in the past?
Now
There was a reason why a lot more harmony existed. A lot people were a lot better
now
off back then, like the collective.
of course, all jokes aside, like well, maybe kind of all jokes aside, I did see something in this week's kind of Twitter feed, news media going on, of course, where Mango Mussolini got that Supreme Court turnover, and of course, it caused the best part about that is I love the way the progressive side melts down over things on the internet and they can't be rationed with or anything like that. Like it's kind of ridiculous sometimes to see them. And one of the best ones that I think I seen the entire week or whatever, the entire time that it was going on was when this one fellow got online and made us a promise. And because he made us this promise, I really kind of hope Trump wins because, like, I don't know. You guys check this out and see how you feel about it.
Oh yeah, audio.
Oh Jesus! Is this the thing that popped into
Yeah, yeah.
your?
But
Yeah, this is the.
audio.
Yeah,
At least we can't hear it.
So after posting that, he went on to say online that he's going to light himself on fire if Donald Trump wins. And I have been continuing to say in his comment section for the past 3 days to do it because I think it would be really funny.
Please,
Like,
please do the Palpatine meme behind it. Do it.
do it, do it. I actually was doing the Ben Stiller meme where he's like, "Do it," because I mean, don't be a liar, liar, pants on fire. Live up to what you say you're gonna do. Like it. I hate to be that guy to point it out, but I mean, if you're not gonna actually do it, then maybe you should just shut up.
You know, I, you could dedicate a whole segment to how
That guy.
inept so for as inept as the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branches could be, figure for a moment, imagine if you will, that um, they praise the Supreme Court one day, but yet they absolutely
He hit a
scream,
trigger
frothing
word.
at the mouth. Yeah, the hypocrisy
Did I
is
lose
real,
connection?
and I don't
I
know
lost
what
connection.
the hypocrisy is real here. Like I don't know what to really say. Like to me, from my perspective, and maybe my perspective is a little bit skewed. I am not surprised by what happened, by the decision that the Supreme Court made, but I'm still indifferent. But they really shouldn't be surprised by this. Like, excluding the ignoring orange from the ballot, like you really couldn't have expected that to hold weight.
I don't know what anybody with a brain cell was thinking, that you promote democracy by eliminating a choice.
And that's pretty much
That's the
exactly
simplest
that's
argument
it.
that takes
Like,
you one sentence to break down.
Well,
One
yeah,
sentence,
and
like,
like
you are in the
that's far more simplified than where I would have ever taken it. Like,
can I
that's
interject my favorite fact about
Yeah.
y'all's
Yeah, go for
democracy
it.
argument?
Democracy
There's
is a
no
joke.
democracy. We live in a
If
republic.
democracy was actually done the way that they say democracy was supposed to be done, the majority, because really democracy is just nothing more than mob rule. But if the majority was who actually won, then the past two elections there has been no president, because the majority of the United States population did not partake in their nonsense, and only 20% actually did, and caused the past 8 years of, if you actually believed voting worked, caused the past 8 years of nonsense. I think that's just evidence that voting isn't real, but that's just
Yeah.
me. And then the only other thing I'll say about election season is, stop, all of you rich bastards, please stop sending me emails, and fuck you guys that sign me up for that stuff because you think it's funny.
I
But
haven't, but
but
sounds
like,
funny. Nancy Pelosi, you're gonna get on Nancy Pelosi's line now.
dude,
You're gonna think Nancy
listen. I get them from
Pelosi.
the RNC. I get them from the
You
Libertarian
need to
Party.
get them from Trump. They'll
I get them
9
from
extra
Trump.
donation.
No, I get them some. I think when the other group that used to be here a long time ago went sour, they started signing me up for all these political groups as like a retaliation, and now my email is full of things from all of the different political candidates. I mean, I retaliated and did the same thing, but I totally signed them up for porn because I thought it was funnier to sign them up for porn. So, why
Remember that
not?
was once illegal.
I don't care. Like, those guys kind of deserved it. They had it coming.
Someone's going to have the day someone puts boxes of dildos on the porch of
Dollar General Geronimo.
Yeah, the day someone actually does that, and I dare someone to point out the actual the provision to me where that was illegal. Yeah, no, I want that to go to court. I want to challenge that in court.
You can order a bag of dicks to go to someone's house. You can order a
Yep.
jar of elephant shit to go to someone's house. Glitter bombs are still a thing. I know it's terrible for the environment, but it's funny as shit to send one to someone. It just the reaction. But the thing about it is, if I send something like that, my ass wants to actually see it. Like, I want to make sure that video ends up on YouTube. So I'm totally going to find a way to be there for when it arrives, and be at least far enough away that I can zoom in and get a good action as you open your door and see a jar of elephant shit sitting there on your front porch waiting for you to pick up and figure out what it is. Like, there's things out there, and it's not trying to be a jerk. I just, every now and then you get the opportunity to be the hand of karma, and if it just happens to fall in your lap and you get to show somebody a lesson, you can't not do it, because karma's going to get mad at you for not doing it. Like, I think sometimes, everybody says that wrongdoers and bad people and stuff get their due eventually, and I say that that's true for the most part. And then there's sometimes, like I said, that if I can be the catalyst, I might not hesitate to take a little bit of fun in the situation. At least I'm going to do it as harmful fun, and you're just going to get a bag of gummy dicks that apparently are ridiculous in size that show up to your house on your front porch in highly highlighted like packaging, so everybody knows that you're getting a bag of dicks.
I mean, who wouldn't say no to free food?
Right? I mean, what's wrong with free food? I think there's nothing wrong with free food. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's fun, and I like to have fun with it. Like, a lot of times, as I say, I don't really mean any malice by a lot of my stuff. that's why I started calling people things like walnut or pine cone, because how can you really get offended at me calling you that? Like, it's not even a real thing, and I'm trying to make you laugh and trying to catch you off guard. And then this thing behind me, I mean, this thing always catches people off guard. It always comes into subject because they're
It
like,
confuses
dude,
them
what
when
the
they
hell
start
is it?
looking at it. Exactly, their brains start to
yeah,
melt in real time. I've
How
shown it
to-
to my friends, and my friends use
How
it.
to
They said,
trigger how to trigger a meltdown in
I
2.3 seconds.
that was my initial thing. Is I was just like, how can I catch your attention and piss off every group of people that there is at one time?
Simultaneously. Yeah.
And I was like, this thing right here, because nobody knows what to think about it. They're like, is that a gay Confederate flag? And I'm like, if that's what you want to take it as, like, I'm not going to argue with you or say anything
I
different.
have
You
it.
go
It
on about it.
confuses people. I have a pillow with it. It
They don't
confuses
know what to
people.
think about it. They're just like,
Their
what does
brain
this
just
guy got
melts in
going
front
on?
of me, and it's wonderful to witness. It's just it's an experience. Get the pillow. It's worth the shock and awe of people just brain melting.
People in their it's I don't know. I wanted to stand out, I guess you could say, and be different. Let's see. I can pull it up for everybody to see it a whole lot better if you'll give me just a second.
Now we have to wrap an entire flag around one of these pyramids. I need to talk to you later. Create some
There
interesting
it is.
images.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I want to get some.
That's
a
beautiful.
few of these.
Isn't it? It's just, and then, I mean, I actually do have an explanation into a lot of the reasoning behind it. I made a video one time to try to explain it. It's like 3 minutes, but the design that is actually existing
Send me
in
the
here,
file, by the way. Send me the file today.
the base design, where it is, the pyramids and the sky and stuff, and there's actually a lot of it has origins in Egyptology. The guy that created the original Confederate flag, which actually is more of a cross,
Oh,
a
wait.
cross look, but it has
Pull that
it
shit
has
up again.
it has to do with archetypes and stuff like that, and people. Hold on, I got you. Boop, 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 and boop.
Okay, excuse me if I'm wrong, but
All right.
I think I just realized that this is a connection. That is a Giza pyramid on the bottom, and I'm pretty sure the top is a Nubian pyramid. And these are the two most important pyramidal structures in the world. Both of these structures, these exact angles, are everywhere. This pyramid, it resonates with the heart center. You could call it the heart chakra, or all of the energies of your heart. So it helps with like if you have issues with like loving people, and like if you've had a lot of hurt in your life and shit, this is really good for that. But this exact geometry is better for the pineal gland. It's the exact geometry of what the pineal gland is geometrically, and it's really interesting that they have these two specific pyramids as their geometries. I never noticed that before.
Okay, so there is, and I'm trying to look for it on the computer, which is a mistake. I'll have to pull my stuff up on my phone and then get it all set up. But there is a whole explanation as to something that's called archetypes. Archetypes are a way of our ancestors conveying things to us through symbolism, because it reminds the being that is driving this flesh mech about things that come from the past. And so the original outlay of the stars and bars, if that's what you want to call it, was actually a cross, and it actually had it at 100 totally percent had the half moon and palm tree, which are actually Muslim things. People don't know that, but that comes from Muslim like backings and heritage.
I mean, it's all over the flags.
And okay, and so you had that along with the 4 pyramids across the globe.
Wow.
That all point to the center star. They all point to a center star. And then the rest of the blue on the original flag and inside the X was supposed to be about like, space and stuff like that. And each one of the other 12 stars all represented one of the constellations or something that was going on with it, because there's 13 stars in there. I have a whole explanation on it. I actually did a video on it one time trying to explain it to people and stuff like that. It blows people's minds when they realize that the guy that originally created the Confederate flag was very well studied and educated in Egyptian history. It also blows their mind when they find out that the Confederacy were the only people to send soldiers to help Egypt in one of their wars that they were fighting. These people that were completely about slavery. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject for a whole different day. But like, it's when you start digging through history and you start looking at things and you start digging into all these conspiracies and stuff like that, you start finding things. And my inner being that drives this mech suit is who made the final decision to make this flag what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's where that idea come from. So like, obviously it wanted me to convey this message, and I like exactly what you pulled out of there, because you pulled that out of there without even reading that article, and I promise to get it out there to everybody. I'm gonna pull it up and send it to you for sure, it's an amazing thing.
Let's go deep here, because you brought up some amazing things that like I've never talked about before publicly. So archetypes are very interesting things to look at, because basically the archetypal energies are the background energies that are fueling all of our religions, all of our actions, every single thing around us, even ourselves. We are all archetypal energy that is emanating into this form right here of reality. And even things like God. There's a guy called Chris Bledsoe who I'm friends with. I love this guy. He's had these orbs of light and angel and beings of light encounters that he's been videoing and filming for the last 15 years.
I've actually tried to talk to him a couple times. I've wanted him to come on the show, because I know exactly what you're talking about. I've followed him for a little bit now online.
Yeah, I've made the first ever. I did a resin table that was a river table that I filled with Orgonite and something called a rodent coil, which is a super cool free energy device that can help amplify Orgonite and frequencies. Really cool shit. But I made this thing, I engraved his name on it, and he's got it in his house, in his cabin. So he's nice. I absolutely fucking loved everything that he has to talk about. I'm pretty good friends with their family. They're all amazing people. Everyone go check out Bledsoe Said So and everything.
Yeah.
But okay, back to the other shit though, is that there's this whole entire realm of basically it's just energy, and when you look at it from a very specific frequency, vibration, color, energy, this shit, it comes down into our world, and we look at it through a very materialistic standpoint, because we're just stuck in this fucking body. And we're like, we are eternal beings that are have way more potential than this, but we're stuck at a specific point. So but the thing is this fuel, this being that we have, we're the same stardust, we're that same light energy that's just turning into an atom, turning into a blood cell, turning into this and that. And that's what we see right now. But we are also a bunch of other things stacked in together, and we're all part of this archetypal energy that is the world and the earth.
That's right. And there is archetypal symbolism in absolutely everything that has been passed down throughout humanity. Like
like that tattoo on your arm
which
other
one?
side, the hermetic symbol, the triangle and the circle.
Oh,
that is a very important, powerful symbol, the alchemy symbol.
Me and my lady, we have those. It's as people know that generally watch the show and stuff, I joke around and say all the time, my old lady's a witch, so don't get on my bad side. She might have a jar in the backyard for you. But like, it's man, I'm right there with you in a lot of that stuff, and I want to give you a counterpoint. You said you were stuck in one point of time, in that, our I'm a reincarnation guy. I've been here a whole bunch of times, and I think there are ways to pinpoint different points in history where I've been before. And again, this might just be all the acid talking, but like, there's a really cool lady that we've spoken to in the past a few times. If Bandit was here, he'd be like, "Don't bring her up," because she always makes fun of him. But Kat, she's a past life regression like therapist lady and stuff like that. And like I know where two of my past life graves are, which that's pretty uncomfortable when you get into that kind of stuff like that. But like it's really cool to. I know it sounds off the wall and crazy, but has anybody played Assassin's Creed? The theory that you can go back into not only genetics but into a point in history where your soul was at one point in time before, I think is actually completely logical. I know that makes me sound completely illogical, but there's more to this realm than meets the eye, and that's why I will always back the things that our ancestors pushed, that they said that the world told them they needed to use, like ayahuasca and stuff like that, because I think that stuff has an important part. And I always say that things like ayahuasca and DMT and stuff like that, it will find you when you're ready. Like I always say, don't go searching for it, because like Luis, you're muted. It'll find you
There's
when you're
limited
ready.
access to it.
There is.
I mean,
There
and
is.
yes, you should take that in caution, but
Yes.
a big portion of the population would benefit greatly from it
Yes.
in cautious methodology,
I
because do it
believe,
right, and it's one of the most powerful medicinal experiences you can
I believe
have.
in using mushrooms properly to reset every now and then. You know, like it's not something that I need every single day, but every now and then, you know, I need a day by myself down by the river to just think. You know what I mean? And
And
reset everything. And I've found that things that are more attached to earth, like DMT and mushrooms and stuff like that. And I'm a big connoisseur of the herb that cures all, of course, too. And like it's it was put here for a purpose. It was put on earth to heal us, just like a lot of other things were. And if we can figure out how to, like our ancestors, if we can refigure out how to properly harness not only the herbs and fungus that are here to help us, but also harness energy through things like organite and uh, everybody's been finally getting into putting the copper rods in their gardens and stuff like that to
electroculture
support.
for sure.
Thank you. That's the word. And learning to harness the energy around us. Another thing that finally came out that science proved true that we've been saying for years is that we have an energy ball around us created from our heartbeat, and we can literally feel good vibes and bad vibes. Like that's a real thing, because it's all energy compacted down into something that we can comprehend with this set of eyes to bring it to life.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
The really cool thing is that people have certain photography that can kind of measure this energy field. And people have taken, I think it's called Correlian photography. People have taken organite pieces. Normally, your energy ball is from 6 feet. So imagine your arm's length out all the way. That's usually about the size of your, people also call it the auric field, or your biofield, or whatever it is. If you have a piece of organite, those energies get super enhanced and they expand. And so it's totally messing with it. People say it's like on an electromagnetic level, but the best word to describe it that people use is something called a scalar field, or scalar waves. That's a very, basically the scalar wave itself is at the very root of it, it says the movement of a unit across a field. So a radio wave is a scalar wave, a electronic wave is a scalar wave, magnetic waves are scalar waves, everything in the universe are scalar waves. But if you harness this scalar energy in specific ways that the public is not aware of, you can have insane energy healing effects. The Rife machine, I'll say, for example, a bunch of other different things. And this organite is a way to naturally harness this scalar field by packing all of the metals in there, which has a very high density for this electrical component.
Have you seen the images that came from a study that was done on the energetic properties of the Giza pyramids?
I know that they have to be out of this world. They're insane. I mean,
just write it down if you've never seen it. Like write down research on the pyramids and their energy fields, and you'll see the data. It's fascinating. If you haven't seen it, It's fascinating.
Well, there's a reason. I'm pretty sure we were talking. It's funny we were
So
talking about
it's
NASA
on the
earlier.
same vein. It's just like a whole
Yeah.
different scale to it.
Totally. So NASA has, I think they have rights to the inner chambers of the Pyramid of Giza, like NASA does. They have like the sole rights to do anything and do shit to it. So talk about that dark occult group shit we were talking about earlier to the Giza Pyramid.
How can we?
I don't know.
That?
I don't know if it's verified. I heard it okay, I'll say this is something I heard on a podcast. I haven't independently researched this, but wherever it said, and I thought it was super interesting. Oh, it totally does. And it's like there's so many different things we could do to research the Giza Pyramid itself. The Giza Pyramid was a free energy
they were
device.
using muon transmitters, and with muon, so basically you've heard of muons that they came out after the Large Hadron Collider, the concept of muons. Anyway, it's a type of particle that goes through everything, but it allows you to see things as it's going through it. So what they learned is there's an extra chamber in the pyramid. There's an extra chamber. Muon scan of the pyramids, you can see.
Oh, there are plenty of chambers in the pyramid that are unknown. And all of these chambers in the pyramid are specific resonance chambers to help create certain frequencies that would power the device. There used to be big, giant copper rods that were extending all the way down to the bottom of the pyramid. Actually, there still are, but there also used to be giant tuning forks on the top of the king's chamber in the Pyramid of Giza. There used to be a giant tuning fork on the top that they'd be able to make smack and resonate, and then resonant frequencies would go and it would shake up all of the quartz, and it would create a vibratory. The same thing as like.
Now, does that do anything?
Yes.
What did it do? The question is,
okay,
what was its effect?
So what you do
is that matter.
So the Giza pyramid itself, the shape of the pyramid is positive for the environment, and also you're basically creating a giant orgone accumulator. The way they use striated layers and then the quartz granite creates a giant orgone pyramid. So the Giza plateau used to be very fertile. It didn't used to be a desert wasteland. That wasn't until they absolutely destroyed the pyramid and turned it into basically a negative energy battery that destroyed the whole entire atmosphere. But when it was in use, when it was properly maintained, you would have gigantic amounts of energy healing for yourself. So imagine like a life machine technology that turned to a giant geomagnetic scale. And you also had it would raise consciousness. You have the sarcophaguses, which if you read the emerald tablets, about placing people literally inside of these sarcophaguses and doing giant versions of what you were just talking about with the going to different lives and shit like that. You can activate giant psychic abilities with the Giza pyramid. And the pyramids I make themselves, it says that you can enhance psychic abilities because it raises these natural energies that are always inside of you. And so the Giza pyramid itself, it would harmonize the whole entire area, the environment. It would help with the priestly class would probably be in the top chambers or the bottom chambers or wherever they were, and they'd get massive amounts of fucking and like natural conscious energy healing and like psychic awareness and like basically being supercharged on an emotional level.
So I just found the things I was talking about that explain the archetypes of the Confederate flag, like we were getting into a few minutes ago. The funny thing is that my computer is trying to hide part 1 from me, which is kind of one of the most important ones. It's showing me part 2 and 3, but part 1 keeps not popping up. So if you guys want to use the Wayback Machine for yourself and check that out, you can at least see part 1 and 2. I'm going to keep looking for part 1 myself because it's funny how things like this get deleted. There's a book, and I wonder if this is my fault because I used to share a link for this that you could go find this easily. I also accidentally caused a book to skyrocket in price. There was a book I was shown by an older black gentleman when I was a kid. I was about 12 years old, and it blew my mind because this book was full of pictures of white slaves, and that always causes hair-raising issues for no reason. And for the longest time, I tried to find it again, find my own copy, and I tracked it down in 2018, and the book cost $1,800, the only copy of it that I could find. And after I brought a whole bunch of attention to it on TikTok, that they were trying to price out knowledge to so that the poor couldn't afford it, That book went from being that to over $5,000. I haven't actually currently checked on it again recently, but the last time I checked on it, which was probably about a year or so ago, the book was over $5,000 if you wanted to read it. And it's all it is it's talking about it's another
Don't you
side
have
of
the
history.
PDF?
I do.
Don't you
I
have
do
the
have the
PDF?
I do have the PDF now.
Could you
I
send
did.
it to me, please? As
I
long as
will.
you logo, please send me that. Cause
I will.
I,
It
yeah.
it it tells a different perspective of history because it's kind of weird that something everybody tries to claim that something that only affected 6% of the population was the reason that they went to a civil war. And there's a lot more to it when you get into it and you find out how tyrannical Lincoln was and how much the people actually hated him, how he had to use foreign he had to ship in foreign troops to fight his he had to ship in foreign troops and free a bunch of slaves to fight his war because nobody that was actually an American citizen wanted to fight his war because it was wrong and against the ideals of what America stood for. You find out that other countries even supported the Confederacy and stuff during the thing and sent aid to them because they were like, Lincoln's gone off his rocker. And then of course he does 13th and 14th Amendment and literally makes everybody slaves of the state through funny wording. And it's it's not a conspiracy.
Oh, that
Like it's
whole
all right there.
It's
You
how
know
so
what
he
I'm
was
saying?
right.
It's not a conspiracy.
it's
It's
so
right there.
crazy. It's so crazy that we talk about this today because
Right?
literally earlier today, I've never really thought about this before in the Confederacy and the Civil War from a conspiracy perspective. I grew up learning it in middle school and shit and
Sure.
just the very basics. But then I start to realize early 1900s, you see one of the main things is the Smithsonian starts to take all of the bones of the supposed giants and either repurposing them for dinosaur bones or just throwing them in the ocean or getting rid of them. And I realized that you have this tyrannical government system that's trying to go across the whole entire civilization, all of the US, which was very, very dense in ancient artifacts and
Yes.
the whole entire United States like used to be very different. And I bet that this whole entire system was designed for them to be able to invade countries, burn and take the shit that gives us any evidence of a previous civilization or previous this or that, and have a complete relearning constitutionally or not constitutionally, but every like there are cycles of relearning new world or great reset type things. There have been multiple great resets in the past,
Sure.
and I bet the Civil War was a gigantic way to try and get people to say, hey, we're going to kill a lot of
That's
you people that know shit, and we're just going to brainwash your children.
that
And
is the only reason that they resorted to scorched earth and burnt down so much of Atlanta. When you go through the areas that were burnt down and have since rebuilt, it is different than the areas that are lost in the country that I like to find myself in. I live in Georgia. I sometimes we're not the best place that there is to be, but when you're far out in the sticks, you tend to get left alone for the most part, as long as you can avoid the testosterone fueled jackboots that run around this district. And like, eh, it is what it is. I'm just trying to live and enjoy my life and raise my kids and have a good time. And I like being as close to Florida weather as I can without having to deal with Florida people. And it's no offense, Florida, I love you guys, but I just couldn't live there. Like it's it's the next step up for me. And I think the leprechaun issue would be like I'd be lost in the swamp or gator bait really quick. So I at least live high enough up that there's a dam and the gator can't get to me. But it's I don't know, man. It's just I don't think the world's any worse than it was back in the day. I think it's just more seen because of the internet, the good double-edged sword. That's just one of those things. And that this actually kind of leads me into my conspiracy of the week in a way that I wanted to bring up. Another thing that you guys, even the folks out there listening and watching and stuff, to go in looking for yourself, and it doesn't even have to do with this. It actually has to do with prohibition. And I bet you didn't realize that prohibition didn't have anything at all to do with like drinking and using alcohol and stuff like that, or making your own. It had everything to do with the fact everybody was energy self-sufficient. There is there is proof to show that they were using it for, energy and fuel and a bunch of other things, and it was very easy to make because it's really not that hard to make your own alcohol. So you need a regulatory group to come in and tell you how much you can make and how much you're allowed to have. And that was kind of the purpose of prohibition. And they didn't uplift it until they had it figured out on how they were going to control it in the afterside. I kind of buy into it because there was a point in time where more things were alcohol based and you could use them for fuel and electricity and stuff like that. So I don't doubt in my mind at all that that's why prohibition started. So
Oh, that 100% makes sense. I
yeah,
mean, that's one of the main things that people in the government systems try and do is they try and keep you locked in either coal it used to be, or now it's oil and it's electricity, giant lithium batteries that cost a shitload of child labor slaves, and also fucking just really bad shit for the environment. And they always try and lock you in and keep us unaware of the infinite amount of energy we could be using for free. There's this piece right here. This is what's called a Rodin coil.
yeah,
This is able to create basically free energy by you pump frequencies into it. It amplifies the electricity, and then you can pump it back out as electricity and a bunch of other amazing things. It has
that's
healing
right.
benefits, potentials,
Yeah.
and everything. This is a really insane technology that's been very heavily suppressed. But if you theoretically put that right coil into a vehicle, or into you could even hook it up to a frequency generator and then plug it into a fucking smart meter, and you could force the electrical companies to buy back the energy that you produce. There's a million different things you can do, but all of these things are just totally suppressed by the government, and that's not the first thing that can make our whole entire world completely change.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They like to. They've done a very good job at convincing everybody that the further you go back in history, the stupider people were, the less knowledgeable people were, and I say it's to the contrary. Um, as well as they've also convinced you that life expectancy was smaller way back when. And I say sure for like wars and stuff like that, but I can take you to grave sites down here, just off in the woods down here in the south, that have dates where people lived 100+ years, like pretty frequently. Like it's not like it's just a once in a while thing. And I truly believe that the system that is here today was just created through a long, drawn out, slow process, and is exactly where they wanted it to be. But as I like to remind people, in the end, no matter what, if you look at history, there's one thing that does prevail, and that is humanity. Because no matter how much we have been oppressed, suppressed, stomped on, murdered, drugged through the mud by tyrants, at the end of the day, they eventually get fed to a guillotine, and it is what it is. I mean, tyranny never reigns forever.
You know what's funny is that when I mentioned that, some people just start laughing, and then they're like, "No, you're right." And I love when they're like, "No, you're right. We gotta bring him out."
Yeah,
Like everybody is in support of bringing them out, and this is to a very small amount. There are more people in prison globally by a factor
the tech,
of 1 million than the amount of people required to fix the
tech,
world just by taking out of
tech,
punishment.
technology's advanced. We can feed them to wood chippers. I mean, sorry.
Instead of just taking butane, we can just do
I,
turtle like this.
I just,
Cheetos.
I don't know. There, like I said this earlier in the show, and I'll say it time and time again. You got to be a special kind of messed up in the head to want to control people. I think we should let people be people. I believe that I'm not about regulatory services and stuff like that, and expansion of government to make sure things are done right.
Don't you want to know what's the
True,
limit of the amount
true,
of protein you can consume in a day?
true
Because we're going to be
freedom.
forced to have a limit.
True freedom would eventually regulate itself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you're if if I always say that anarchy means no rulers. It doesn't mean no rules. And like we're not, just because I'm a pirate doesn't mean I'm out ready to mob you and take you and become the warlord that takes over. Like I just want to be able to mind my own business. And if you do cross that line, like understand I'm within my full legal right to protect myself and blow you away if that's what it comes to. Like it's just like it's if the rest of the world, a carrying society is a polite society. I think that if we went back to putting shotguns in our back windows of our pickup trucks, people would shut the fuck up and not run their mouth as much. And I also think that if they didn't hide behind the guise of a keyboard and got popped in the mouth for some of the shit that they said, like karma would actually do, like maybe people wouldn't be as big and bold as they want to think they are online. Like it's I know it's a way of the times and stuff and the taming of humanity, but good lord, there's some people out there that again, I support freedom of speech, but maybe you shouldn't talk. Maybe you just maybe the things that are coming out of your mouth you should go back and rethink about because
Let 'em
good
talk.
lord, I mean, you can say the same thing about me, but I'm just saying like it. Some of the things that I see come across my Twitter feed make my unhingedness feel all cringy, and I'm just like, what are they doing? Like they can't be really saying that as a human being about other human
No,
beings. That has to be an NPC in real
there-
life.
there's also the 50 Cent Army.
Okay.
There's also that.
But speaking of fucked up things being said, I am to what I like to call my favorite part of the evening. We've had a great show this evening. We've been going on for a long time. And of course, after this, we'll get our final thoughts from everybody like we like to do, and everybody can get their last minute plugs and stuff in place there. Isaac, I promise. I'll make sure I do that.
Oh,
but
you're good.
But before we get to any of that good stuff, I want to get to my favorite part of the night, where we play Pirates Against Humanity. Of course, everybody in the panel this evening has their cards. I have my box. So, if it's okay with everybody else, I'll also draw answer cards as well as drawing question cards. I've been trying to do a good job of not getting doubles by taking all the cards that I take pictures of and use and throwing them in the box. If I miss one or two and I happen to say the same thing twice, I apologize. We're just going to run with it because it happens. So, of course, I'm hoping that everybody's got their cards pulled out by now. You guys know the rules. I'm going to pull out a card that's a black card and read the question, and you guys are going to give us one of the answers out of the random stack of cards that I sent you guys tonight. I usually send a blank card that you can fill in yourself, but the rest of the crew just got extra cards tonight because I figured I'd make it spicy for them since they have to deal with me and you don't have to put up with me on a regular basis. They have to unfortunately look at the group chat every day and look at my ridiculousness. So the rest of you guys only have to deal with us once a week. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. The first card of tonight is a twofer. Right off the bat, we got a 2 blank spot. So as usual, I'll read it as many times as I can. Feel free to jump in whenever you guys are ready. But the black card is, all right, I'm done with blank. It's time for blank. You can choose 2 cards, and I'll give you guys a moment.
Repeat the I'm done with blank.
All right, I'm done with blank. It's time for blank. I've got 2 cards at random, so I'm ready when you guys are.
All right. It's what you were saying. Shit in my britches and argue.
You said, all right, I'm done with shitting me britches, and it's what? It's time for what?
Arguing.
Arguing? All right, I like
Arguing.
it. All right, I'm done with toddlers. It's time for building systems of coordinating and process.
You
All right, who wants it
modern
next?
times.
I'll go next.
All right.
Okay, so all right, I'm done with huge American children. I'm gonna give $5 to Black Lives Matter.
All right, I'm
Neptune.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm done with getting dick tonight. It's time for a meeting that could have been an email.
Wait. I got that. I got one of those.
Oh, well,
Jimmy,
sorry,
you
it
failed.
happens at
You
times.
said-
I can send you another card right now. They're that close
Alright,
to my
that's
hands.
fine.
Watch this.
Randomizer. Action.
Randomizer, action, and
I mean, if he lets me make my own custom cards again, it's going to be a bad night for the rest of y'all. But
I know. That's why I thought about that for a moment. Because I apologize for sending a double. It does happen. So what about Bam? I don't think I've sent that to anybody. Maybe I have, but we'll keep it and see.
Oh, you're funny. Of course, it's Jimmy. What else do I expect?
The year is 2150. The president is blank.
The year is 2150. The president is the guillotine.
I like it. The year is 2150. The president is gay. It's the card. I'm drawing at random. Don't cancel me again. Isaac?
Man, let's go with the year is 2150. The president is getting crunched into a ball and slammed through a hoop by LeBron James.
All right.
Oh, ouch.
Luis.
You mean the great grandson of LeBron James?
They preserved his brain in some fucking cryo freeze, and then they brought him back.
They're in a biosuit.
They're gonna Disney him. They're gonna do him like Walt. Because the only way he can ever be greater than Mike is if he can live forever. Sorry. Luis?
I'm trying to
The year is 2150. The president is
a mule that can say Walmart.
Nope. I did pull that card in the past. I recognized it. Here we go. It's very simple. You give me sex, I give you blank. Anyone? It's very simple. You give me sex, I give you
permanent brain damage from football.
Making love atop a windswept mesa as the sun blooms on the horizon.
Isaac?
I mean, I'm sorry. You give me sex, I give you huge American children. I had to redo it.
No worries. Fair game. I keep drawing random cards, and apparently, if it's pretty simple, you give me sex, and I give you HPV. Oh, what do you guys say? You guys want at least one more tonight?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go for a few more. I've got two more I need to run through. So,
just write your own cards. Just send them in.
No, I totally could, but there's one of these I can't top,
bro. But you can just do it in the blink of an eye. Just write it. I mean, it takes you 5 minutes.
I mean,
to write them down.
He does do a good job of coming up with some of his own ones. But I totally didn't send you guys a blank one tonight. I don't know why I didn't at first, but then I thought about it and was like, you know what? It's probably worth it to just send them some extra spicy ones. So, how about warning? Blank may cause blank.
Oh, that's perfect. All right. Jimmy, I need the parameters again.
Warning, blank may cause blank.
May cause. All right. I got it.
All right. Can I say mine?
Yes.
A perfectly ordinary object like a pen.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Give it to me one more time.
Warning, blank may cause blank.
Okay. Warning, being acquired by Amazon may cause receiving anal pleasure at Burger King.
All right. And on that note, that's perfect timing. Warning, eating a huge bowl of pasta like a fat piece of shit may cause a geisha who was clearly Ronald McDonald. That was, I couldn't have planned that better.
So, warning, Being 1/16th Native American may cause returning all money to its rightful owner, Jeff Bezos.
Very nice.
Oh, and tonight's been good, so I will throw one more in there. So our final card for tonight is, Psst, you go around back. I'll distract the guards with.
Receiving anal pleasure at Burger King.
You're reusing.
Absolutely, it's no
Wait,
worries.
was that a reuse card?
Yeah,
I
but it's
got that
okay.
one too.
Apparently, I doubled up again on someone else. I apologize.
I mean, the only other one that I could have appropriately used in this case was a penis with its own smaller penis. But both of those work in this case, so I mean,
What was it again?
Psst, you go around back. I'll distract the guards with.
a penis with its own smaller penis. Okay, you know what? I'll just throw an old ad hoc in there of my own just because I didn't write this one, but you know what? Hell with it. So, go around front. I'll distract them with two skeletons fucking on a tin roof. So, yeah, there you go.
Looking at an infographic and saying, "Whoa." That's how you distract them.
Psst, you go around back, and I'll distract the guards with.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you go around back. I'll distract the guards by sniffing them in the back like Joe Biden does. Oh, wait. They're
Bravo.
Nice.
Mine was you go around back, and I'll distract the guards with janky tits that go clankety clank. Man,
by my count, there is still one card left in my pile that I still have not used.
Oh yeah, is that going to be everybody?
We could do one more. I think, if I'm counting correctly.
As a feminist, I cannot support blank.
Literally fucking the police. Oh, that was beautiful. I couldn't point.
As a feminist, I cannot support the horrible things that giving birth does to your vagina.
Oh.
As a feminist,
that was my last card too.
Yeah,
I know spending way too long picking a restaurant.
As a feminist, I cannot support Grandpa jerking off to Betty Boop.
Jesus Christ! All of these were in the same vein, and I'm here for it. Jesus.
Well, this is the go out and get yourself a copy of the Everything box by Cards Against Humanity. That's totally where we're pulling some of these great things from. They don't sponsor me or anything like that, and I know we call it Pirates Against Humanity, but like it's been a fun thing to do, not only with ourselves but with guests, and that's why we continue to do it, because it brings a good laugh and it is as outrageous as I want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't ask for better outrageous laughter than saying absolutely ridiculous, off the wall nonsense. So I appreciate those guys creating that and continuing to advance it. Like, every year there's new cards that come out left and right. Like, it's a pretty cool thing. So, aside from that, tonight has been a real fun night. I think you've been great in conversation there, Isaac. Like, you brought some good information along with you. You definitely know what you're talking about, and I appreciate the work that you're out there doing, man. Like, I've always dug the idea of the electronic field around us and stuff, and ways to harness it. And one of the ways that I've seen to harness it, aside from electroculture, and as the lady we were talking about earlier calls it, frequency. She does frequency stuff. And she also talks about the other guy we mentioned a few times a lot too, and all of his frequency studies and whatnot. And then, the Orgonite stuff like that. Like, I've always been fascinated about it, and I definitely think there is something to it. Hey, there's a couple of them already around my house, because it's something that my old lady actually absolutely believes in and runs with too. Again, like, I was trolling the internet earlier this week, telling people that because I love their reaction when I tell them Jesus was a witch. Like they're like, no, he wasn't, and I'm like, what do you think he was doing in that span that you don't know anything about because you refuse to read the Book of Enoch or the Gospel of Thomas or the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, where it tells you all of these stories about
amazing book, by the way.
yeah, where it tells you all of these stories about him going off and learning from the mystery schools, and then when you start finding him in other places, I've always said I don't deny that the person that they're telling these stories about wasn't a real person, but the story that we've been tricked into today isn't quite there. It's missing a lot of context intentionally. Like there's a reason false prophets rise, and it is to do what they do. And I do hope one day a lot of people see past it, because it makes me feel bad when I see people that I personally know still falling for some of the nonsense that I'm just like, come on, guys, you got to get a little bit past that. It's just, it hurts my brain, and I love you, and I don't want to see it be ridiculous. And I know you don't want to listen to me because you think that I'm just Jimbob, the dude that has aluminum foil inside of his pirate hat and talks crazy nonsense online for hours on end for no reason at all. So where can we find you, man? Like, where aside?
So you can find my website on www.oregon-ite.com. You can find me on Instagram at oregonthestate.ite. And yeah, you can message me either through my website, you can message me through my Instagram. I'd love to answer any questions anybody has. If anybody's interested in a specific custom piece, maybe you're going through something, maybe someone you love is going through something, I can do almost anything. So I also wanted to thank Jimbob as well. You guys were all very kind, and you guys are a great show. I really appreciate you having me on, and yeah, you guys are doing a great thing, giving some truth and some love and some positive vibes. I mean, we laughed a lot today, and it was a great show. You do a great show.
Thanks, man. I've always wanted to be a place where anybody can feel comfortable to come and talk. I even encourage other folks that are out there watching. Man, if nobody
That's
else
how I
wants to,
discovered this fella.
if nobody else wants to talk to you, I want to talk to you. Like I'd love to talk to you, even if you're just somebody watching on Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, Odyssey, like wherever you are right now. If you want to come and hang out with us, guys, shoot me a message. You're more than welcome to come on a Wednesday night and partake in some of the conversation. Interject as how you feel suitable. I love other opinions, and I love expanding my knowledge, and I think the best way to expand my knowledge is having conversations like this with super interesting people doing super interesting things. And
Especially making new things that are
you,
physical, and because there's so much things that are digital and not unique.
yes.
I mean, you're working directly with your hands and with your
and
creativity to create new
and I feel
things that are not common.
I like seeing folks like you. You're definitely, dude. I've almost got 20 years on you. I think a lot of us here almost got 20 years on you, and like,
Yeah, for sure.
I love seeing that. There's a younger generation of folks that have already got this kind of figured out and doing it. And you're not the only one that I've met that is a generation below me that is got the ideas and the mindset and is on the way to being the change in this world that we need to see. It's I know people like to be like, oh, Gen Z or Gen whatever, this,
Well,
that, and the other. And I think I know I make fun of boomers a lot, but I mean, I'm not going to stop making fun of boomers because I'm just not going to stop making fun of them. I love everybody, but I'm still going to find a reason to make fun of everybody. Like, I make fun of the other groups too, but like, I'm not meaning anything malice about it. And I'm not like trying to use it as a divide tactic. Like, we're all people. You know what I mean? We're all
I
people.
mean, Julian Brown is a good example.
I love that dude. And he's live right now. I can see the notifications. Like, that's my
Julian
buddy.
is amazing. If you haven't seen Julian, guy is working to get a patent for microwave pyrolysis. Basically,
He's turning old plastic into
converts
gas.
Plastic into
I saw this. I saw that. Yeah,
dude,
he's more efficient and cleaner.
He lives close to me. I'm getting him up some more microwaves because he's making a big one. We had him.
I saw that. Yeah.
I found him when he had like 40 followers and started like getting him to come over here and talk to us. And then like,
oh wow,
he talked to Luis, and Luis is the man of mystery. And like, next thing I know, this dude's everywhere and he's always in my feed, and I love it. Like, I think it's the best thing ever because he took all of the knowledge that existed on this idea and he figured
He
out
read
how to.
every paper that existed on the
He figured out how to advance it. Where they
since
gave up,
he was 15 years
Yep.
old.
they gave where science gave up. This kid picked up and has figured it out, and
He
he is
made a
not
microwave version that's more efficient than the current mainstream.
not not
Basically,
only
he made
can
a new version of converting trash into energy.
not only
More
not
efficient.
only not only does he make plastic trash into gas, but he makes like like computer trash, which is a big problem. He turns that
Wow.
into he can turn that into diesel fuel, and he can turn food waste into methane.
Oh wow.
And he
So
does
yeah.
he does all of this with a microwave in his backyard in
Combined.
Decatur, Georgia. And I'm totally helping him get microwaves. You guys go check out Julian Brown.
That's amazing.
I think he's worth a follow. He's
I
him, and people like you are the people that let me breathe a little bit, because I'm just like, man, at least I don't have to worry about it being complete zombies, because there's some folks that already got it figured out that are behind me.
Even people
So,
in other countries.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah,
I have a lot of international people that come to me. I've shipped things all over the world in the last
Beautiful.
3 months, just
What's
and it's
the
like
furthest you've shipped, do you think, by now?
so.
From
I
you?
shipped to Switzerland, the UK,
nice.
Bulgaria, and Singapore. I think that
Oh,
might have been the
cool,
farthest.
Singapore. You already went.
Yeah.
So you went all the way.
Yeah, we've shipped everywhere, man, and there's always more people coming. And it's like, the only real exposure that I ever get is from publicly appearing on a podcast and being able to speak my mind and be able to have people actually understand me for over an hour. Or else people are just like, the fuck is this orgone thing? Like, this is just some bullshit. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It doesn't seem like it's very likely, but hear me out. There's a lot of
Right.
science backing it. Blah blah blah. So it's been amazing, and so yeah.
Well, I'm glad, and anytime, man, you're always welcome. We talk about a variety of things, whether it, as you can see, like it's all over the place. It is an ADHD hyperfest of nonsense and crazy camaraderie. Like these are the best dudes I know, and even Bandit, even though he's not in here, and the entire rest of the crew that just doesn't show up until they feel like showing up. Like
Yeah.
they're all great people. Like I love them all,
That's awesome.
and it's great. So I'm gonna hop over to Neptune. Neptune, what you got for me to close up your end of the evening?
I think I'm good, man. I don't really have anything to say. This was a good conversation.
I think we had fun tonight.
Yeah, we definitely had fun tonight. I actually learned some things that I need to do some research on that I never have heard about before. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Well,
Isaac, thank you, because a lot of subjects I have never even approached. So, no, I think I'm
I've
good.
got more where those came from. So let's do this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were great. You guys had a lot of insight that I like. The Confederate flag. I mean, the stars and start. What'd you call it? The stars and bars.
Stars and bars.
And everything. You guys were amazing. You guys were great. I'd love to gift a Orgonite pyramid to the microwave guy. There's a thing really interesting. There's this technology called tensor coils, and there are these copper coils that you can wrap around and has a very similar energetic effect to Orgonite. And there's this dude that put a tensor coil around his gas tank, and he filled his gas tank with it, and he got a dramatically increased gas mileage on his vehicle. And so his tank lasted a lot longer. So I'm wondering if it would improve.
It's
Totally.
a worthwhile experiment. So what I know is that it's slightly less. It's not perfect.
His
But
Instagram is
it
the
works.
best way to get a hold of him, to be real with you.
Yeah. So
what we
look
talk.
up Natura.
Natural Lab. Man, he's live right now.
Nature Jab.
Nature Jab.
And then _ in Instagram. Then send him a message there. You'll get through.
I got him.
And I'll message him if not to get through. If you don't get through.
I'll tell him to check his message
directly.
I'll tell him to check his message request because
I imagine at 282,000 he is getting random.
Oh yeah.
I just saw that. That's incredible.
I love people's like, oh, don't get killed. I'm like, he's working on established technology. He just improved it. Now people are stupid. I can't trust me. Like, he actually might be the perfect person I gotta present to somebody. I just didn't think about it until right now. I might present them.
See, this is our most.
How did I not think about that?
Listen, we joke about this all the time, man. Luis is the most interesting man in the world. We don't know much of him other than he's on the other side of the screen. Hopefully, one day I'm going to get to meet him face to face. But like, and I don't think he's an AI. I used to suspect it, but I've gotten a little more comfortable now, and maybe that's what he wants.
Well, if you are, I've got an
Get
idea
out.
I want to float by you. So okay, if we have some more time, there's this idea. So there's this theory. It's called the biofield tuning hypothesis, or the biofield anatomy hypothesis. And this hypothesis is saying that every single physical issue in your body correlates to an emotional and mental trauma that you've experienced, that you've bottled up inside of your body, and now it manifests as a disease, or you broke your arm, or whatever the fuck happened.
Sure.
It can be anything. And I want to start setting up a intelligent AI on my platform for people to tell the AI and talk to them about all the shit that they've been through, gather a massive amount of physical data and data correlating to the emotion.
This sounds right up
the right direction.
I was about to say this is
Point
right
you
up
to the right
Luis's
direction.
ideas.
It's just a matter of how. I mean, it's not going to be that expensive because you're basically just making a few API calls. So it's just a matter of creating a script that can amalgamate that information. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I think it would be life changing. Actually, I think it would be one of the most valuable resources of data collection, because you're dealing with like some of the most important kind of knowledge in the world. But also, like, it could like I could fine tune my pyramids to make something the exact energy that they need to be receiving for whatever shit's going on with them.
We can see later on. I can see to help you with like figuring out some frameworks and then evolve from there.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, thank you. It was cool. Thank you so much. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Luis, any final thoughts for this evening?
I think it's tomorrow. Putin Brain talks.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be fun. Everybody go watch Putin Brain.
Puddin' Brain. Yeah.
Putin
Our
Brain.
current kumquat in chief.
The guy that looks like now they inflated him like a old tire.
Well, when you're wearing a
He's
skin
gonna be
suit
so
over
high tomorrow.
when you're wearing when you're wearing a skin suit over a lizard suit, it tends to look like that. Like, it's one of those things. So, of course, you guys, I will make sure that I go through and share his links inside this episode, wherever you guys catch this episode at. I want to thank everybody that's been watching all over the world there and that will be listening all over the world when I get it loaded up on the audio version. I'll make sure I share links with you, man, so that you can share all of that, and I'll share all the links with you too, so that you can share it with your folks as well. I greatly appreciate you coming on, and again, you are always more than welcome to come back for more. As I said earlier in the show, we're about to relaunch unconstitutionalawakening.com this weekend. Look for it like Friday, honestly. And there's even going to be a cool new link that involves our new buddy over there, where you can go get you some cool Orgonite stuff for yourself. Take some time, look into it. I really think it's something that people need to study and understand a little bit more about, because the things that you are told and think are fiction are stranger than reality itself. Like you just wouldn't believe. We joke about it all the time, but you think the news is lying. Wait till you figure out that history is full of it too. And the only way we can do that is continuing to talk with people from all over the world, like we've done tonight. So, I appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all guys also go check out the rest of our friends in Liberty: Dr. Kirk Elliott, Peachy Key Creations, Ammo Can Survival, Classical Learner, Pure Pet Wellness, and everything else that's going on over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com. They've even still got a place over there where you can get some cool UA shirts and stickers, man. I'm gonna be something else I'm gonna be working on. And for those wondering, I have been working on the cookbook again, so get ready, because it might actually be coming out. It might only be digital for right now, but all the folks that participated in helping with that is something that's still coming. I thank all of you folks for doing the thing with us, man, and hanging out with us every Wednesday night. And we'll see you guys again next Wednesday. You guys know I have to leave you with something funny, so you guys are probably going to cancel me tonight for this one, but I saw a hot binary person the other day, and I was like, hey, let me I was like, hey, let me see them titties. You guys have a great night. Thank you.